Wow, and we're black. So I'm in my fancy building's lounge, and there's no one in here to watch the election. I was like, I'm gonna watch it. So thank you all for watching it with me. I'm gonna turn up the tripod. Literally, I was like running around, like, can Annie do this? Can Annie do this? Can Annie do this? Woo! So I got first dibs on the lounge. If y'all want to take a little tour of the lounge, super duper nice. This is a tour of the lounge. This is a tour of the lounge. There's a pool table, and I'm black. So, so I'm gonna figure out how. No comment. No comment. Super nice building. Already messed up the remote. So, and I know who it is. I'm gonna start complaining because.
The state of Virginia, take a look.
All right, ma'am. It's on a poppin'.
41% expected voting right now.
It's on a poppin'.
We're still seeing Donald Trump with a large lead.
Donald Trump with a large lead.
It's a little
What?
This is kind of interesting right now.
Oh my God! I think I need to become a blusher. So you get to watch all of this, all of my creative process in real time. I'm gonna get a chair. Oh my God!
It's a cold country. But I want to blow this up here. This is the Democratic suburbs around DC. This area right here, you have Alexandria, Fairfax, Arlington. These are areas where Democrats need to run up the score, and that's how they end up winning the state. Places like Fairfax.
W-O-W.
Years ago, Joe Biden's underperforming, and that's why I say the numbers are a little strange.
This
right
is
now.
like beyond. So people who thought it was gonna be a landslide. He's talking so fast. Wow.
57% of the
Wow.
votes going to be early.
Okay.
Because of the
Hello. Live from my lounge. Wow.
What happened to the landslide, y'all? What happened to the landslide? What happened to Washington? Washington. Hey, Mena. You already tired? I have no idea. Like, I literally haven't been watching news for weeks. I moved into a new fancy building. Look. So I've just been good. How are you? It's bad? I have no idea what's going on. It seems like Trump's winning. But I said this, like, what about naive?
Pennsylvania, Ohio, and the upper Midwest.
Isn't this so much better than like?
Isn't it so much better? So let me move it black a little bit more.
I mean, the tremendous surge of early vote. I mean, that
There you
shows not only people taking and
move it.
trying to protect themselves from COVID, but it also shows intense energy.
Trying to get it so that the angle's good.
We know who the early voters are. We don't know how they voted.
But they want this. They wanted all of this chaos. They wanted all of this uncertainty. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Give me 1 second. Copy. Stop. Close that out just so that I'm still here. Oh, someone's already taking me, texting me they can't take it.
Texas, for God's sake.
I mean, I don't know what people, what?
So you're feeling good about the whole night, not just your state?
Yes, absolutely.
Senator King, thanks very much for your time tonight. We can project now the state of South Carolina is going to go to Donald Trump. South Carolina, strong red state. Donald Trump won it 4 years ago. He was going to
So he's winning South Carolina. Clyburn, what happened to Clyburn? Okay.
Expected this, this is a state that hasn't voted for a Democrat for president since 1976. President Trump's support has remained steady, and exit polls showing that the rating is about 55%.
Okay, everyone.
That we're watching big here is, of course, the Senate.
Get ready.
The Senate race here. It is a fierce battle, and Republicans are on defense. Few places is that more to the gear in South Carolina. Think about this, Lindsey Graham. He is a household name, a 17-year incumbent.
So the Republicans are winning. I mean,
he was expected to easily win re-election a
There you
few
go.
months ago, but now he is in the fight of his.
So there's a black candidate that like really won, right? So I mean, really wanted to win,
To
but
try to beat Jamie
Hey.
Harrison. Jamie Harrison at one point raised
What you
more than
gonna
$57
do?
million
What you gonna
in
do?
just over 3 months. He is one of those candidates that Democrats are hoping can help them flip some red seats blue. So that is what we're watching tonight here, George.
Okay, Jan, thanks so much. We can't project that yet, but you just heard that chime. That means we can't project that in Colorado, the Senate race in Colorado, former Governor John Hickenlooper is going to defeat Cory Booker, the incumbent Republican senator.
so a lot of Republicans are winning. I mean, they rigged the election, they gerrymandered, they voted purge. I don't know. It's just, and we think we're gonna go to the polls and win. I mean,
Yeah, and this was probably
What are you
the
gonna do?
top target to pick up. Cory Gardner tied himself quite closely to Donald Trump, actually tried to avoid comments whenever there was anything controversial. Hickenlooper, the former governor, of course, briefly ran for president, recruited to run for this seat. No surprise that this is the first pickup.
No surprise. So how are you? Tell me where you're watching from, tell me what you're thinking.
To what John was saying.
The Republicans are gerrymandering, y'all. Like, what you gonna do?
Governor of the state, Vermont.
It is what it
He ran for president
is.
briefly, then decided to run for Senate. This is not a surprise, but as Janae was saying, this is a key state that
Key state.
Democrats wanted to pick up to turn from red to blue. And frankly, this is a purple state that is leaning blue, George. And Cory Gardner didn't have much of a chance. He voted towards the GOP in the Senate 89% of the time in a state that we were saying is purple leaning blue. It was unlikely he was going to win this. The polls
well.
had Hickenlooper all along, but this is one state, possibly another in the Rocky Mountain region, Montana, that could flip from red to blue tonight. George.
Matt Carter, thanks very much. Mary Bruce, your day job is covering Capitol Hill. I wanted you to pick up on what John Carl was just talking about there. Cory Gardner, one of those senators who, whenever President Trump got in a little bit of trouble, he disappeared.
It was amazing how all of a sudden Cory Gardner would become very hard to find in the halls of the Capitol in those moments. Look, as John was saying, he was viewed as the most vulnerable Republican tonight. There are several others that Democrats are keeping a close eye on. And I have to say, George, Republicans know that there is a very real risk that they could lose their Senate majority tonight. In addition to Colorado, which we now know the result, and they're keeping a very close eye on Arizona. They
Ooh,
very
Donald
strongly,
Trump is. Oh,
Democrats
boy.
have a chance to defeat Martha
Oh, my
McSally.
God.
Race.
What
Also,
we're gonna
feeling
do?
optimistic about possibly Iowa.
Wow.
North Carolina, the Senate race in
So I have to
Georgia.
keep my mask on because I'm in my lounge.
Actually, two races there tonight, and both Republicans.
Tell me where you're watching from, tell me what your thoughts are.
The Democrats can see that they are likely to lose a seat in Alabama, Doug Jones's seat. That means if you go back to the map here, if they lose that seat, they would then need to pick up 4 seats. Democrats would if Joe Biden wins, because in that instance, Kamala Harris would then become the tiebreaker as vice president. If Donald Trump wins, that means the Democrats would.
So what are your predictions? Y'all think he's gonna win?
If they do lose that race in Alabama.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Let's take a deeper dive now at the state of Pennsylvania. We've been calling it the most critical battleground of the night tonight.
Oh, yeah,
90%
that's a big
expected
deal.
vote is in right now. Joe Biden has a large lead. And Tom, why don't you try to run through some of the key counties in Pennsylvania that we'll be watching?
George, we were just looking at Pennsylvania a little closely, and the numbers are really all over the place. There's not really a narrative we can really talk about at this point. Look, for instance, I'll give you Scranton right here. Lackawanna, Donald Trump is on top in Joe Biden's hometown, and he's overperforming there for Republicans. We go just south, Lucerne County. This is Wilkes-Barre. This is a swing county that Donald
Oh
Trump
my
is
God,
leading.
Travis.
Joe Biden's on top, but again,
Yes, he is. He's a master of it, right? Like,
Democrats really have to win.
people
Out
don't-
in Pittsburgh, you
I'm
can see
like-
how high Joe Biden's there. That's the type of number
You know,
Democrats
this is-
want to make sure they
it
can.
is what it is,
Pennsylvania.
right?
Now,
So,
in Pittsburgh,
cheers to electoral fucking repeal, right? So,
George, look,
there you go, Democrats, like-
93%. That's obviously incredible.
how you been, Travis? I love you. I miss you. You're hilarious. I
We'll
knew
look at one of the
this is
southern
not
counties,
relevant, but
I'm like, this is a much better set. More like an actual TV show, you know? So there you go. So Pennsylvania, yep, Pennsylvania was not on it, right? For some reason in Pennsylvania, so let's go back up. Summer. And I've heard the line is really long and really I've been watching. Oh. Oh yeah, I haven't really been doing much videos. Like I moved and I just needed a break. Not from you all. Like I love the energy, but like I just had to be like, so my videos on on Instagram, yeah, Rebecca for the Blacks. I have her here. I'm gonna put her on later, maybe. Yeah, it's nice. It's sweet. I can deal with the drama with my landlord anymore. I was like, I gotta go. So I predicted that it was gonna be the whites were gonna leave us our balconies. So I have a balcony now. Super nice. There's a pool table. Yep, super duper nice building. Just keep praying. Energy, protection. I was like, ow, ow. So, what verse is that, right? That's like a show. So, Trump's job performance 52 disapproved. But that don't mean nothing for the Electoral College, y'all. Oh, it's on. I don't know if you were there when I was like making a joke about Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, and I kept calling 125th Street Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. I manifested that shit. I've been living on Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, Malcolm X Boulevard. I had no idea. I've been walking past it for years with scaffolding, and like something was like, I need to move. I'm like, let me see if I. Yeah, I have like the nicest apartment in the building. I just haven't been like living. So yeah, I'm gonna start doing more videos there. My whole goal is like building is my fucking set. You know what I'm saying? Sure, you know. Oh, here we go. Look how unhealthy he looks. He looks so unhealthy. So unhealthy. Look at this.
And so I think they're still feeling like they can turn out their day of voting. It's going to make it very close. No one's predicting a win there yet that I've heard, but no one's promoting the loss yet either.
My sound is really bad. Is it because of the echo? Man, I'm wondering if I can put on, but if I put on headphones, then it'll be even worse. It's because of the mask. I mean, there's no one else in here. I don't think I need the mask. Let me see. Is that better now? You can hear me? Thanks, Travis. Can you hear me now? I think whatever. Fucking Rahm Emanuel. I can't stand him. What did he do for Chicago? You know, he was mayor of Chicago.
Those areas where vote total in the sense of how many people show up in the suburbs versus working areas versus urban is going to be much greater. I think the urban areas may not be performing to the kind of base from my perspective.
You wanted to watch? Oh. It's not a landslide, honey. It's not a landslide. But we should know that. Like, there's Republicans are good at gerrymandering and petitioning and, you know, electoral colleging. So it's not like, oh. And even if Biden wins, the Republicans still going to do all kind of craziness. They're not going to wear masks. They're going to say, yeah, you know, we're going to turn them up. So it's not an easy. It's not an easy thing. What's your name? Shanari? Amy, nice to meet you. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Best case of the mirage, the red and blue mirage. We don't know whether these are early votes, whether these are absentee votes, whether they're day of votes yet. And so, you know, I would go back to something Nate Silver said, has been repeating over and over tonight. Wait till an entire jurisdiction is in before you get too excited.
I think we have to do that. There's no question about that. Eva Pilgrim, we spent a lot of time with suburban women in the state of Pennsylvania.
That's right, Jordan. And specifically with moms, a lot of them tell me they usually avoid talking about politics amongst their mom groups, but this year,
So QAnon supporter
possible
is elected to Congress.
Of the things that are very political right now directly impact them. them and their children. In their text chains, you can see what some of those things are. They're talking about masking their children. They're talking about virtual learning. Are you sending your kid back to school? Should we go on vacation this summer? Those were all the discussions that they were having. And a lot of these moms telling me that, previously in other elections, they weren't really that plugged in. They had maybe voted in a presidential election prior, but this year they thought it was very important to vote.
Move a little closer so y'all can see me and see the full TV.
It's your magical fortune going
Right.
very scientific forecast there. What happens if Pennsylvania flips this year with Donald Trump 4 years goes to Joe Biden this time around?
So then I'm going to make things a bit more suspenseful. Give Donald Trump Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, but then if you give Biden Pennsylvania, it's going to show the numbers going up. We'll see what it calculates here in a second. It's not quite the same as Ohio because it's a little bit of a more purple state. But you see, Biden's up to 91%. This fight is in the South. If he wins back Pennsylvania, you have to hold Wisconsin.
That's really, it kind of brings you back to where you were at the beginning of the night.
It narrows the range.
Oh, that's Nate Silver. Can y'all hear? Turn it up a little bit more. Turn it this way. Boom. So now I have everything kind of in frame.
Leadership in Ohio, that Trump has now pulled ahead in Ohio, and that they
Soon
believe
I'll
Trump
get my
will be 1.5 and 2 points.
Right now, what we're seeing on our board right now, 64% of the expected vote in. Joe Biden just ahead by a little bit, but you're saying you're getting that from your sources right now.
Yes.
They're looking.
So I think a lot of people are upset.
And they believe, at least we're not ready to say that, they believe that Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio. Have to take another quick break. We'll be right back.
So he's gonna win Ohio. Well, there you have it, folks.
With Infinity now, your test drive comes to you. So you can drive one car one day, and another the next.
So what are your thoughts?
Because when you
It's on
find
commercial
a that fits you,
too.
you'll know
Does it sound still really bad? I know Travis said the sound was bad.
that's
Could be, I mean, it's a
Finance
lot of echo, I think. I'm gonna get new, I have a microphone, but the microphone is from my old iPad, and you know how Apple is, like, there's different plugs in for the microphone, so that the import, I have to get a new one. I can't stand Ice-T. This is what, Ice-T is everything that's wrong with America. His hair is dyed, his wife's boobs are fake, I just don't get it, I don't get any of it at all. Hey, Paul, it's an echo. I think there's an echo just because there's an echo. Like, even if I didn't have, there's just an echo in this room. I can take you all on a tour. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, so I just moved. I moved into this new fabulous apartment that's like the entranceway with chandelier and stuff. There's a pool table, lots of fun. Yep. So I think there's just an echo because there's an echo. There's just an echo in the room. So I will have to, I have one of my filmmaker friends coming in to help me one of these days, like sort through all the tech, because this is like the top of the line iPad. So it's not a tech issue like that. New York Times has Biden at 131 electoral college votes and Trump at 92. Oh yeah, super nice. I have been manifesting. That's why I took like a break from Facebook. I love you all. It's like y'all give me so much life and energy, but like I've just been enjoying. Like this building has a rooftop. This is gorgeous view of the entire Manhattan skyline. You cannot make this up. I haven't used the gym. I need to. But yeah, I've just been like waking up and just like absorbing all the sun. Because I live in a garden apartment, so there was like no sun in that apartment. So I just like cried the first week. Like every day I would wake up just looking at the sunrise. Like, sun. There's tons of sun. There's like 4 to ceiling windows. So I got one of my gentrification. Remember when I kept saying that like gentrification, the whites are gonna leave us the balconies? I have a fucking balcony. Yes. So how have you been, Paul? I love your comments and everything. How are you? And can you all hear the TV? I know I have an echo, but do I need to turn the TV up as well, or does that make more of an echo? I don't even know. You tell me, tech. 10 p.m. everyone.
Has won 9 states and 89 electoral votes. Donald Trump has won 10 states and 72 electoral votes. All the big swing states still in play right now. Let's take a look now at the state of Georgia, one of the key
State of Georgia.
of this campaign.
I don't even know what channel MSNBC is on, or else I would watch it there.
Donald Trump
Super anxious because of Trump.
What more can we say?
I've been really good. I haven't been watching the news. I've literally been like, oh, my apartment, yay. Like, you know. I have some huge contracts for diversity training. Doing some big companies. And then, oh yeah, so I'm writing now for Baller Alert, which is like an urban news outlet, but they have a lot of hits. So I got like over 200K hits for my article. Like, it's getting lots of views, and I did videos for them too. So I've been good. I'm like, I feel like yes.
You know, Georgia is 6th overall when it comes to the total number.
The world, COVID, my life. No.
One good image is that.
Yeah, I get it.
Dropped off his back.
It's real. And it's isolating, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
in contact with somebody who tested positive on Friday, though it's worth noting that he also did take a rapid test and is subsequently
ooh, I
tested
like her glasses.
negative. But look, we're seeing the same thing that we saw in North Carolina, where the 3 counties that are hardest hit by coronavirus, all are counties that voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. We'll remember that Governor Kemp was criticized for trying to open up.
That's an interesting fact.
And he then sued, had that lawsuit against Keisha Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, when she implemented that mask mandate, which he later dropped.
so let's see what ends up happening. I mean, I feel like we've been gearing up for this for 2-3 years, right? Like election, like the 9th year, and I'm gonna go live because I'm gonna go live, but like I wanted to like meditate, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to just like sit on my floor and stare at the flicker of a candle. Seriously, like I'm real chill, right? Like I don't have my emotions. I was gonna become Rebecca. I might still do that, but I just feel like I don't have the anxiousness. I just feel like it's a spiritual thing right now, you know? Yeah. I voted earlier today. Where's my sticker? I voted earlier, and I was like, okay, and there was absolutely no line. You know? I mean, it's always good. I'm gonna see if I have a voting sticker. It's always good to like do something, you know what I'm saying? Like to because it literally is an affirmation of what you want to happen. So it's like vote it because I know, you know. Oh, here goes my lotion. I was like, where's my hand lotion? Oh my God. Where did I put? Oh my God.
It's the same story. President Trump.
I might have forgot my I voted sticker. I don't want to put it. Oh well.
Houston, Harris County, the biggest county so far, it's essentially the same race as it was 4
Oh,
years
here
ago.
it goes.
Harris County, Houston is an area that have to run up the score even more if they have any chance of winning in Texas. Because you go to one of these red counties, George, look at that, East Texas.
Look at
it's
that.
3-1, and it's like that all across East Texas.
That data is in Texas, man. It looks like John Cornyn is going to be returning as a Republican senator from Texas. But in the final days of his campaign, he started to break.
ABC actually has a really good lineup. They have Nate Silver. They have Chris Christie. They're doing a good job.
Texas and the changing nature. He's catching up to the changing nature of the state of Texas, which, as we've talked about earlier, has gone from a solid red state to now, I think, a slightly red state. I think in the end, Biden's going to get really close in this state. As I look at the numbers, very close, closer than any presidential candidate.
I'm just texting some people.
Years, but I don't think he's
Checking in on them too.
Points that are really hard.
So who's watching? Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me what your predictions are.
Florida is not playing out in Texas, so I think I counsel everybody to not interpret one place as meaning it's going to affect another place.
But I could have told, I mean, if I was constantly doing lives like I used to, I would have told people this, that like, do not count on the landslide. Don't believe the hype of like, oh my God. Like, Republicans are just really good at like, you know what I'm saying? They're just really good at like, you know, what do we need to do? Gerrymander? All right, let's do that. What do we need to do? Vote approve? Let's do that. What do we need to do? Put Kanye on the ballot? Like, the people on the left actually take the election seriously, like the whole definition of election. I'm gonna vote, and my vote's gonna count. The Republicans are like, fuck that. They're like, what is this thing here? Electoral college, let's figure that out. What is this thing here? Voting districts, let's redraw them. And that's why the Republicans win. And I'm like, I look at people like, if you're disappointed, you need to figure, damn, you're not imitating. Personally. You know, because while you're being naive, they're sitting here doing everything that they can do unabashedly to sit there and win anything. The election, hearts and minds, the war against wearing a mask. Like, they'll do it. They'll just do it. You know, so I don't know what else to say about that. I just feel like people need to figure that out. And I still need to become Rebecca for the Blacks. Rebecca for the Blacks. Rebecca is, yeah, Rebecca for the Blacks. Yeah, that's right. I still need to become my character. I may do it tonight. We'll have to see. You're watching oh yeah, I mean, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, right? They both won too, the Republicans. So it is what it is. I just feel like America's gonna have to figure a way, like the people. Obama had a quote where he said America's not actually ready for a revolution. Like Obama said that. So when we look at like who we put at the top, it's also indicative of like everything else that transpires in between. So America was like, I mean, Obama was like, yeah, shut up. We don't want an election. Like, no, a revolution. So, and that's Obama. So what do you think is going to happen? Hello, good evening. Hey. Greetings again. Are y'all here to watch the election? You're forcing. Hello, my love. I'm doing quite well, and yourself? What is your apartment too? It's your apartment. Yeah. Work that out.
How's the Wi-Fi? It's good now?
I had to COMPLAIN complain. Yeah, Trump is winning.
Trump is winning?
Yeah. But we knew this. Y'all are technically supposed to have on a mask. I only didn't have on a mask because I was doing it. I don't have on my mask because, you know, we don't want to be kicked out.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So yes, that is a pool table. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's my company. Black History Good Shoes. It's my, Baller Alert.
Yes.
So I write for Baller Alert. They're producing my content. Yeah. I just wrote an article about why rappers trust Trump. We've got like, I don't know, more than 200,000 like hits. Yeah. Just on Instagram, on Facebook, I had another 200 or something like that.
What's your name?
Kanani.
Kanani.
And your name?
Kalima.
Kalima. Nice to meet you, man.
Linnell.
Linnell, nice to meet you. Y'all want to come on camera? I'm sitting here hosting my live party. My wife. Oh! Okay. Yeah, look.
Yeah. I mean, we expected this though.
Well, that's the popularity votes.
Yeah, popular vote. So, Georgia.
Like you can get the
It's
popular.
close.
You need the electoral votes.
Yeah.
That's what happened on Hillary.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
She got the popular last time, but he won on electoral.
Oh, well, this is real close. North Carolina?
Right.
I mean, there's nothing, like,
Well, you know
listen.
Texas won. I knew Texas was gonna be Trump's.
Look, people keep thinking, oh, they're sitting there watching TV and all these people being woke on Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, these white people are going for Trump. Like, don't even
think, and
Don't-
some of them quote unquote voting in secret, you know?
Yeah.
And not for nothing, Trump was gonna give it. He was on the campaign. He was on the track. He was on the campaign. Like,
I mean,
why was he there? But I never really seen no real cause or whatever way.
and you know what? My test is the hood test. If I'm in Harlem and I don't see no Biden Harris t-shirts for sale,
Right.
on like this street, then you already know. You already know. If it's not on the t-shirt, it's not real. I was there when it's real.
Yeah, like you said, you know, because like when what's his name was in office, like the first term, Obama,
Yep.
you had vote or die.
Yep.
You had everybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody.
every t-shirt maker, they were just cranking it.
Yeah, but and I blame like, you know, to me, it's just my honest opinion. I think
Talking to my neighbors.
Obama, to me, the first time around, in my opinion, he got voted in because he was black.
Oh, okay.
He didn't have a real agenda. Now the second term, now okay, we got you in because the second term we didn't see no voter die. You didn't see the people
this is true.
on the campaign trail.
True.
So
You
to
had-
me, he
you
was
had
in the
Marcus
first
Brown.
because he got
I
black.
think
He
that
was
was
black.
so exciting for a lot of people.
But with Biden and stuff, where's Puffy and everybody here? Where's the voter die this time around?
It's not
We
there.
need that part too.
You know why? Because a lot of
You got Trump, he bringing back all this out to the,
but that's what
what's his name? He called him a little pit, but his name was little punk. He said for him out, I said, wow. Yeah, okay.
I think what also happened was a lot of our celebrities that have money, their secret Trump voters too. But
They want their taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of their
They want to
taxes.
keep their money.
Yep. And that's what we appeal to.
I think we still got, we still got some time though. We still got some time.
But they predicted that
Trump has won 10 states, 72 electoral votes.
it was going to appear as if Trump won because of the day of vote counting versus all the people who did early ballot.
Let's take a look at
But-
that right now. State of Iowa, key.
So Biden's in a running as far as electoral right now. Trump is in a running for a popular.
Yeah, we do popular, but it don't mean nothing because that's how Hillary goes.
Yeah.
She won the popular, but he won the
But he's gonna
electoral.
win, and we have to be prepared for it. We do.
For Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they even voted up TJ Maxx right here on 125.
No, all
All the stores?
All the stores down here are voting up as well. Yep.
I love
We'll see what happens, but you know, whoever was in trouble.
It is very nice to meet you.
They both liars. They both liars
That
and
was
deceivers.
you.
I'll be around.
Yeah, and you can follow, I'm on Instagram, Black Issues. That's my name. Black Issues. And then you can read my article, because I literally just did an article, and it's,
You know, this is a good place to do my podcast.
it's not, because it's way too much of an echo.
Oh, my source podcast.
Yeah. Because that's what they tell me now, that the sound is bad. Because listen, like, if you can hear echo, just us being here, then imagine what it sounds like in there, you know? But it's Black Issues. You better off doing your podcast in your own living room. And closing all your doors.
My internet actually, my daughter used up all my data.
Your bandwidth. Yeah, so it's Black Issues, and then you'll see, it's called Hip Hop Legends Gone Wild. Why rappers trust Trump.
I will definitely join. You have it, so then I'll follow the
Here. Hey everyone.
You'll see this.
Okay, good. Just DM me, just like, hey, what's good?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn around. All right.
Okay, enjoy. Just talking to my new neighbors. So, welcome to not even my living room, but to my lounge in my new building. Black Issues is doing a station break. Canadian eye holder, no longer live from my living room, live from my lounge, fancy building lounge productions. And yes, Trump, seems to be in somewhat of a lead. Okay, enjoy.
All right.
Be safe. So, I'm your host, Canadian Idol holder. I think Channel 7, ABC is actually doing a really good job of talking about how the results are coming in. So, Trump has a huge lead in Michigan. That's not good. Oh yeah, and Ally the Ally, 2024, and Rebecca for the Blacks. I still have to post all that stuff on Facebook. Rebecca for the Blacks. She's so much fun. I have her here. Does it matter that I'm wearing a mask? Can you still hear me through the mask, or because I think I can take it off again, but I don't know. If any other people come inside the lounge, I have to put it back on. So I have Rebecca here, so I might become her. She's so much fun. I love her. we're looking through black stories.
Election day in Michigan, Joe Biden is
So,
consistently move anywhere from 5
polls in 2 key battleground states just closed, but it's too early to project which candidates will win. Thank you, Fox News. Michigan breaking my heart. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
There's a lot of mail-in voting, and the state, in most of the state, they don't even open the ballots until today. In some jurisdictions, they started opening them yesterday. It takes time. It takes a long time. They've warned us that the vote in Michigan is likely to take well beyond tonight. So,
And what's bad is that the fact that the results are going to fluctuate drastically.
those numbers change.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Paul, I gotta hire you as like my sound man.
Wisconsin as well right now. Let's pull that up. 30% of the expected vote in. A little bit closer there, Tom. More of the vote has been counted.
Okay, Wisconsin.
Slightly ahead.
Yeah, slightly ahead. This is one of the states that
Listen.
won. You know, it was very close here, 23,000 votes.
Wow.
Talking about Milwaukee, this is so important. 15% of the total vote. Joe Biden is.
Yeah, I think a lot of, the fact that, like, again, like I said before, the fact that, like, the results are going to fluctuate drastically over the past, in the next few days, I think it's going to foment even more, like, chaos and, like, disillusionment. And this is the worst way to do an election. Like, it's crazy.
That's exactly what he has to do. Still not enough vote in. Like some of these swing counties I can take a look at here.
Wow.
Tiny county, Donald Trump on top.
64% in this one county in Wisconsin. Okay.
In Green Bay, Brown County.
White people are not letting this shit go. They are not letting America go.
Kenosha, of course, we want to talk about as well because it had such
Kenosha, oh, that's your social justice, yeah. Jacob Blake. Oh, 63%. There you go. There you go.
I just think that there still needs a lot of votes to come in.
While we're looking at the blue, let's pick up Pennsylvania again. Let's take a check back in and see where Pennsylvania is.
So again, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Canadian Eye Holder, Black Issues. Literally trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. I'm your host, Canadian Eye Holder, live from my lounge. Huge 84-screen-inch Samsung TV. Election night. The results are coming in. They are all over the place, and not a landslide for Biden. So prepare for that.
But this is what General Powell was just talking about. George, we just don't have the.
What is that, Philly? Well, then, yeah, Philly's gonna be like all Biden. Don't even show that. 93.
Let's go over here. Yeah, Chester. Oh, we don't have Bucks yet. Chester's another big suburb around the Philadelphia.
And I love my neighbors. They call it the electoral college. I mean, this is why we need to be educated.
Any kind of narratives
Electoral.
so early in the night. Pittsburgh. We'll look at this because this is
Pittsburgh.
score, and there he has an 80%.
Okay. All right, Pittsburgh. That gives me a little bit of hope, right? Because Pittsburgh has a large of color population, but they also skew very working class. I'm a trucker, I'm a miner. I'm a stealer, right? So factory workers. Why is Bob Emanuel a fucking? Why is he an expert? He did nothing in Chicago. I'm telling you, this is the bullshit. This is why America is the way it is. Because we amplify and we give people like this a platform. He didn't do shit in Chicago. He was mayor of Chicago, right? He was mayor. How dare he? And he's so into himself. He's so like, I know who I am. I know what I'm talking about. Look at this. Look at it. Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
it's
ridiculous.
Before the day of the polls close, and then in Pennsylvania, they don't start counting them. They still got 3 more days of.
It's a well-lit studio.
It's gonna be very
Shoot,
hard.
that thing is.
You do have a trend
You see
line
that
shows
studio? It is
voters,
spotless.
older voters, suburban voters, college-educated voters.
But so far, we haven't seen Chris Christie any big surprises yet. We haven't called any of the battlegrounds at all, and this is going to take.
It's going to take some time, but George, I think what we know now tonight.
He looks so unhealthy and unhappy. Look at him. My God.
And really, what this is going to come down to now is a few states: Pennsylvania,
Michigan?
Ohio, Arizona.
Oh.
And everything I'm seeing, we haven't called anything yet, but Republicans are very optimistic in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Iowa. And so it's really now in Ohio. So they're really coming down to Pennsylvania.
Joe Biden. As you're talking, I just got some news in my ear.
What did you hear, George Stephanopoulos?
Big news right here from the state of Arizona. 70% of the expected vote is in from Arizona. There was so much early vote in that state. More than 90% of the 2016 vote came in before Election Day. One of the things you see right there is that Donald Trump is now losing with 70% of the expected vote to Joe Biden, 55 to 44. Tom, now let's take a dive.
Yeah, George, at this hour, this is a major story and a major development. Not all the vote is in right now, but Maricopa County, this is going to be 3/4 of the total vote in all of Arizona. Joe Biden is on top. 4 years ago, this was a county, I'm going to show you 4 years ago, this was a county that President Trump had. It was tied, but that Joe Biden has this lead right now is very encouraging news for Democrats. We're going to go to the Democratic stronghold now of Tucson, Pima County.
Okay.
This is where, look at this number, George. I mean, these are the kind of numbers that Joe Biden
I think-
has in those other battleground states with 80% of the voting.
Any state, here's what I think. I think any state where Biden is in the lead, when the mail-in ballots come in, he's still going to be in the lead. Any state where Biden is not really in the lead can still maybe go Biden because of the mail-in ballots. So it might get better than what we think.
Medium-sized cities like Scottsdale, agriculturally, the universities, the tourist areas. Joe Biden's looking at this number right now. It's going to make him very happy.
David, what do the exit polls say about Arizona?
A couple of things coming out of Arizona right now that are really
I'm just
interesting.
texting
First of all,
someone.
Independents outnumber Democrats and Republicans in that state, so let's go right to that. 52% of independents, according to the exit polls, are going with Joe Biden. And when you get into these numbers, President Trump's is 53% disapprove of his handling of the jobs. President opinion of Trump, 54% have an unfavorable view, so underwater and more so than many of the states we've looked at so far. Look at Joe Biden, 50% favorable. And when you start getting into some of these key areas, COVID, Joe Biden has some handling COVID. And the economy, though, is from strength, it appears, in Arizona, at least according to these polls.
It's so sad that people think about the economy like the economy is an actual reason to side with Trump. It's so sad.
John Crow, we know there are national trends that play here, but Arizona has been a deep red state. But as what typically we say on politics, it's local as well. John McCain, the late Senator John McCain, a target of Donald Trump. Mayor Cindy McCain endorsed Joe Biden. Jeff Flake, former senator from Arizona, Republican conservative, endorsed Joe Biden.
They both endorsed Cindy McCain, spoke at the Democratic convention, and those attacks on John McCain were relentless. He resisted taking the flag down to half staff when McCain died. None of that played well in Arizona. But I do want to have another caution on Arizona. Arizona is the reverse of what I was saying about Pennsylvania and Michigan. Arizona's they've been counting the early vote for weeks. So as the day the vote comes in, I expect Arizona to get a lot closer. I think Governor Christie made an important point here. This is going to be a long night, and we're going to be a long week. It could be a long week. We're going to need patience. I don't see Joe Biden running away with any of those states in the Sun Belt. We'll see what happens in Arizona. But we're going to be waiting on Pennsylvania. We may be waiting on Michigan and Wisconsin.
George,
Go ahead.
one interesting thing from Michigan Republican leadership that just came in the Senate race, in the vote by mail that's been counted so far, about 25% overall counted. Senator Peters is winning by about 20 points in the vote by mail. But on the election day voting, John James is winning by 22 points. So what they're looking at least in the first 25% of the vote, is that it's going to be a very close Senate race in Michigan. We don't know yet what will happen, but there's not a blowout there, and it's doing.
Sorry, everyone. I'm also getting text messages of people who can watch or what have you.
But very heavy Republican, 22 points on voting today.
The Arizona, I just got a report from the Biden campaign, the Arizona vote by mail is outperforming their model by 70,000 votes. They expect
Abby.
200,000 margin. They have 220,000 margin.
Okay, let's go to Nate Silver then and take a look at Nate. Let's looking at forecasts and show what happens if the state of Arizona red in 2016 goes to blue in 2020.
Okay, so Nate Silver kind of knows what he's talking about, but not really. So I don't know, because he did not see Trump winning. So I'm like, okay, Nate.
70-some% here. It's not as important for him as Pennsylvania.
Pass to the White House.
Absolutely, 75%.
East side has flipped the Senate seat. So yeah, it's a pretty even, Paul. Yeah. But there's a QAnon. The QAnon woman won. The QAnon woman won. So there goes that. All right, so that's on commercial.
There's more than one kind of luxury.
All right, station break. I'm Canadian Eye Holder. Black issues, literally trying to make sense of an insane world. One issue at a time. I'm your host, Canadian Eye Holder, live from the lounge in my building with an 84-inch screen TV and you. Talking about the election, talking about predictions, talking about what is the future of America going to be. So, just getting on pay.
With Infinity Now, your test drive comes to you.
I have Howard University people. I graduated from Howard that are like not quite asking about if we're gonna celebrate.
Because when you find the kind of luxury that fits you, you'll know.
Good
There's
question.
no way to buy an Infinity from anywhere. That's Infinity Now. Finance any new Infinity.
This is a lot going on. I already text my parents. Gender specific.
Stunning new interviews.
Yeah, and revealing the biggest.
So let's see what's going to end up happening. But I think that tonight is going to be very anticlimactic, skewing towards depressing for a lot of people who really got caught up in this hype of like, we're just going to go out there, we're going to vote, and like, we're going to wait online for like 6 hours, and like, Trump get bought, we're going to get rid of him, like, vote. Yeah, I think some people are going to be very, very disappointed. That's my personal opinion, prediction. So you all can comment down there right now. What are your predictions? Black issues, 2020 election is finally here. You know?
Told you.
And
Your dog is judging.
are you disappointed? Is this what you wanted? Is this what you expected? Black issues. Okay, I have no idea why my TV's freezing. Just texting a person or two of Navi. Yo, TV. Okay, I was like, we're paying too much money, you know.
Eastern time.
So,
Taking a look at the state of Ohio right now, 72% of the vote is in.
Okay.
Right now, and Tatiana's
Trump is in the lead.
pulled ahead now of Joe Biden in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, George, we're gonna need a neck brace
Wow.
for Ohio. I told you earlier in the night, it was looking like 2012, the map now.
well, you know, it's precinct by precinct, you know what I'm saying? I wonder which candidates winning will be more likely to generate shenanigans among the civic. Well, and that's why I keep trying to tell people, like, don't think that Biden winning is like the end all be all. Like, people are like, oh, sigh of relief. Like, Trump and all the rest of them are going to continue if they're going to do more stuff. You know, this is how they are. You know, I'm kind of relieved that like there's no like race war happening right now. That the election is pretty calm, but they try to kidnap the government. Like they're gonna do more stuff.
The story is this: he's gonna have to work the vote in the big cities. The rural counties are sticking with Donald Trump tonight.
Well, that seems to be the question. The margins are good in the cities for Joe Biden, but are no voters coming out for him?
We've seen significant turnout in the 3 cities. I mean, not just early vote, but on election day. I mean, they were predicting at about 2 o'clock in Hamilton County, we were at 60% of our total registration number, which is a really big deal. And they were projecting to beat 70% of our total registration number, which doesn't happen all the time. I think the big thing is these urban centers that are counted slower. That's where most of the votes are, and they're coming later. And I think they will make the difference, particularly because he's overperforming Hillary Clinton by so much, which means that the work is working. The message is getting out to those folks.
Yes, he is.
Question that might be are Donald Trump's voters coming out in record numbers as well?
Yes, they are.
I think that's clear. I think
Yeah.
it's even if you look at
You
the
know,
total
I could actually turn on the heat in here.
It's
I'm a little cold.
It looks like
1 second, just gonna turn on the heat.
more votes in Florida this year, not only percentage-wise, but more total votes by far, by hundreds of thousands than the last time. So it's absolutely clear. I disagree on part of this. It's not as if the African-American vote's not turning out and there's a problem. counter to that is Donald Trump's supporters are turning out even in greater numbers than they did in 2016.
Okay, let's take a look at John Carl.
I just have to say, look at those
Boom.
records that he did. He did
Yes, I have heat.
over the past few days.
I don't know what kind of life I was living before, but like
Last week, they've always
this life is just like pressing a button and having heat. Like
They talked about how they
it's
invested
the greatest.
for the past 3.5+ years. So, I mean, clearly we are seeing increased turnout in some of those areas.
Yeah, the Trump supporters, they're coming out.
Okay, let's take another look at the state of Georgia. 52% of the vote, expected vote is in right now, and Donald Trump has quite a widely.
Georgia. Wow.
Yeah, but this race is far from over. I'll explain why right here. We've been talking about the state of Georgia and, of course, the state of Atlanta. The city
People are too scared to watch. That's so funny.
It's going to come from there. Right now, the spread, if you look at it on top here between Trump and Biden, you're looking at about less than 400,000 votes, right? The problem with that is in DeKalb County in Atlanta, there's about 250,000 votes that Hillary Clinton got 4 years ago. Here in Gwinnett County, we only have 17% of the vote in, but Hillary Clinton ran up the score there too with 150,000 votes. So there's a lot of the vote out in the Atlanta metro area that could help Joe Biden. The story for Donald Trump, counties that he swung, counties like this, tiny little counties like this. I'll get back over to you.
Give it back to me.
Breaking news.
Right now, it's in the state of Alabama. And Tommy Tuberville is going to be the next senator from the state of Alabama, Republican.
Switch.
Football coach defeated Senator Doug Jones, Democrat, who was seeking his first full term.
Oh, boy.
A special election in 2017. John Carl, the president, had a lot of personal interest in this race.
He did. This was Jeff Sessions' seat, and Jeff Sessions left the seat to become Donald Trump's attorney general and to become Donald Trump's hated attorney general. And when Sessions tried to get his seat back, the president
There goes that.
Tommy Tuberville and worked very hard actually.
So they're even right now, Republicans and Democrats and Republicans. Okay. And the Democrats mean I couldn't see how many seats,
It's a
but
lifetime situation that brought Doug Jones, a Democrat, representing Alabama in the Senate.
So, Mary Bruce, one pickup for the Democrats, one pickup for the Republicans. We're back to where we started.
Alabama got me so upset.
And we're back to ground zero essentially.
And everybody knows Mississippi got
In
down.
the Senate, they now need a net gain of 3 seats if Joe Biden
So, again, thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. I'm your host, Canadian Holder, live from my lab. And, you know, we're here to laugh, to cry, to make sense of it all together. I don't know about you, but I did vote, and I did vote Biden. Like, he was very proud of me and all of my antics and shenanigans. You know, I usually write in Bernie or something, but I actually did. I mean, that's a big deal for me because I was like, oh, you know, and I voted Working Families Party because Working Families Party is like more left leaning than the Democratic Party itself, and if they don't get a certain amount of votes in, they're gonna not be on the ballot anymore. And then I also know Mo, so Mo runs the Working Families Party, and he and I went to Howard together. However, I have issues with the Working Families Party because they endorsed Bernie in 2016 and then switched to Elizabeth Warren this year. And I was just like, all of that made me feel like kind of like you guys are not even as radical as you claim to be. But I thought about all of that in my head, and thank you so much for watching and listening to that. And I was like, all right, fine, Biden, fine. Fine. Like 10. Fine. You know, it's a big deal for me. I guess I'm growing up, you know. So, good. So, Paul, did you vote for Biden too? Is that what you did? I mean, I don't know. Oh, but it's fine. So, I'm so sorry. Like, I have like these huge contracts for these major companies to do diversity training. So I'm just a little I guess I'm a little tired, you know. Those moments that matter. And anytime anybody comes in, I have to keep my mask on in the lounge. So that's that. So 89 electoral votes to win. Oh my God. 72, 89. Okay, so Biden's in the lead, kind of. So, well, Senate at this hour, 40 Dems, 39, 51 control. Okay. Ooh, the House. Look at that. This is good. It's nice and clean. The graphics are clean. It's very clear. Okay. Donald Trump wins Louisiana. Now, so they did have a discussion about how the media is going to report these election results and that they're going to declare winners. I think it's way too early to declare winners. Like, I think that is journalistically extremely irresponsible. However, it's America, right? It's entertainment. It's not supposed to make sense. It's only supposed to make money. Thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Trying to make sense of an insane world, literally one issue at a time. I'm your host, Kaneki Holder, live from my lounge. And let's have a conversation. Like, what are your thoughts on all of this statistics? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I think I think that declaring victory is setting people up to be very upset, because they're gonna feel like they're owed something. It makes no sense to declare victory. It's 10:30. It's crazy. So Florida, 94% of the vote in. Holy shit. Texas. Yo! Y'all saw that? So Georgia's still up in the air, so 55% of the vote in, so we don't have to panic yet, but Trump is in a hefty lead there too. Poor Lord. Wow. Wow. So Pennsylvania, okay, it's too early. North Carolina is about to be for Trump. Wow. Michigan. I just gotta laugh. I just have to laugh. I can't. You just have to laugh. Like, none of this makes sense. And I've said this before. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to make money. Thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. And they're going to show you all of these polls and all these different issues, but Trump is in the lead. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Disney.
I mean, and we know how they're winning. They're winning because they're voter purging. They're winning because they're redistricting. They're winning because they are, putting Kanye West on the ballot. I mean, they're not winning fair and square, right? But they're winning. So, just be prepared. Live your life now. Live everyone to the fullest. I think it's going to be a long, I feel like I'm coming. It's a big deal that a lot of revolutionaries are saying, dude, but just vote for Biden. Yeah, it's like you gotta swallow your pride.
Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to excite war.
The KKK.
Yeah, this is it.
To Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us. This is a real wake-up call for streaming now on ABC.
That's good. Seeing now, they're all doing their streaming platforms.
So big, so outrageous, never seen anything like it before.
Meet two friends pretending to be part of one of the world's richest royal families.
Living large.
But
Holy cow, who is this person? He stole approximately $8.1 million.
Damn.
where was all this money coming from?
Buckle up, just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm Whoopi Goldberg. This is The Con. All new and royally good. Wednesday on ABC.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have
What
to
a
be.
movie.
The secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast
Live from ABC News election headquarters in New York City, here again, George Stephanopoulos.
It is 10:30 in the East. Post-10 polls have closed in 44 states, and it is a close race so far. Joe Biden has won 10 states, 93 electoral votes. Donald Trump has won 12 states, 83 electoral votes. Not a surprise yet. Right now, that is a rerun of the 2016 map. We can add 2 more states right now, though. Joe Biden's going to win the state of New Hampshire, and it's 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump had fought pretty hard. They thought that was one of those states they might be able to take back in 2020, but it was not to be. Joe Biden will win the state of New Hampshire, and it's 4 electoral votes. But Donald Trump will hold on to Louisiana.
Louisiana.
No surprise there. Blue state stays blue, red state stays red. So let's take another look at those key states up in the northern tier of the country: Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, the so-called blue wall. Right now, that's where things stand. Michigan with 33% of the vote in, Donald Trump has a lead. Wisconsin, 35% of the vote in, Donald Trump has a lead. Pennsylvania, 31% of the vote in.
America should be ashamed of itself, but
the question there is
this is what we signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, in all
no
of
one
these
should be
states, first of all,
surprised.
it take time to get final results. You know, all of these states are states that do not process mail-in vote as it comes in, which is the opposite of what we see in Arizona, the opposite of what we see in Florida. So we always knew there was going to be a bit of a red mirage factor here. As they open up those ballots, as they process that, those are going to be more Democratic votes. Those numbers will change. The question is how much will it change?
okay, that's an important point right there. I want to come to Pennsylvania, but right now we're just getting some results in from the state of Nebraska, and Donald Trump has won not all of the votes here in the state of Nebraska, but he has won 3 of the 5 votes in the state of Nebraska. That's the overall.
Look at that, Nebraska. Done. Awesome hat. Done.
Votes also in congressional districts. Tommy Allen, why don't you explain that?
Yeah, okay, so let's take a look at Nebraska right now and follow along with this because it gets a little complicated. As George mentioned, Nebraska splits its electoral votes. Here's the beautiful state of Nebraska right here. We're going to show you 2 counties right here. This is Sarpy, a conservative county that makes it the 2nd congressional district. Donald Trump should be on top right now, but he's not. He won this county 4 years ago, and that's good news for Joe Biden because just above this is Douglas County, and it's like the numbers are reversed here, George. Hillary Clinton won this 4 years ago. This is Omaha right here, right? And Democrats usually always win this area, even though Trump pulled off the win in the congressional district 4 years ago. It was because of
Joe,
the numbers are inverted
Paul.
right now. Still very, very close here.
Yeah, it's neck and neck in terms of the Senate, so we'll see.
It's essentially like this. It is minuscule. But if the race were to come down, I don't want to say it, but you know what it is. If it were to come down to 269, whoever won that one county, that tiny little county, Nebraska,
Yes, all the
is the
electoral
most
votes.
important Americans right now on the planet.
Oh, shit.
There
you go.
T16. We also
Thank you all so much for watching and tuning into Black Issues, trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. I'm your host, Canadian Holder, and we are live. I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Did you vote? Who did you vote for? If you want to share that. Also, what are your predictions, right? That's what I have here, election predictions. What are your predictions? For the election, post the election, inauguration day, is that even going to happen? So yeah, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. I have to have my mask on because I'm in the lounge in my building. And for anybody who walks in, I need to have on a mask or I'll be banned from the lounge in public areas. You don't want to do that. So, I'm mad.
Until the end of the week, until we know Pennsylvania. But there's some numbers here that I would think.
Wow, look at this spotless studio from ABC. Look at it's a palace. It is a shrine to Babylon. Like all of this is sit there and tell us about a shitty ass election, shitty candidates.
Over Hillary Clinton, 2 points.
Ooh.
Improvement for Joe Biden, and you can see where he got the improvement from. When you break it down, Donald Trump still has overwhelmingly done well with men in the suburbs. But look at this among women. This is where the gender gap presents itself in Pennsylvania. At least we've seen this in other states too, coming in 53% of suburban women going with Joe Biden. One other thing here that was really interesting is the independent vote coming in from Pennsylvania, according to the exit polls.
So there's an independent vote in Pennsylvania? This is news to me.
Independents are going with Joe Biden. That's a flip from 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Donald Trump won independents in Pennsylvania, 48 to 41. Now Biden ahead by, what is that, almost 10 points. That's what
the exposure season holds up as the real results come
Oh,
out.
dude.
Let me take another look at the state of Minnesota as well. Again, that was a
Thank
state
you all for watching and tuning in. So Minnesota, let's see what's going on.
State of New
36% of the vote in, and
Expected vote is in, and it appears that Joe Biden.
okay, Biden has a lead in Minnesota, but Michigan not so much.
Yeah, Georgia, what we're seeing is that Joe Biden has a huge lead in Hennepin County, the most populous county here in Minnesota. We're seeing 93% of the vote coming in from Hennepin County, about 70% of that vote right now going to Joe Biden. Those are the kinds of numbers that Democrats want to see here in Minnesota. You know, Obama, there were 19 counties that Obama won that Hillary lost to Trump back in 2016, and the Democrats are hoping they're going to be able to win back those so-called pivot counties. Now, the important vote, the rural areas, the Iron Range, the other part of the state, we still don't know the exact numbers from that area. That part of the state typically looks better for Republicans, typically went for Trump. So we will have to wait a little bit later in the evening to figure out those numbers. But right now, Hennepin County, Ramsey County, the populous areas of this state looking good for the Biden campaign.
Alex Perez, thanks very much. Let's take another look at North Carolina. Right now, we've got the state of North Carolina with 89% of the expected vote in. It's a very close race right now. Donald Trump at 50, Joe Biden at 49. Tom Yamas.
Yes, we have just one county that we have no data on right now in North Carolina. The race is very
Look at that.
close. We're looking at a spread of
Yeah.
about 40,000 votes. This is Granville County.
What did I just miss, Paul? I was like, yeah, but I'm like, wait a minute, no. No, what? What did I miss?
That could affect the score. I mean, this is such a close race. This was a state that President
Oh,
Trump.
North Carolina? Oh, yeah, this is really sad.
Right now, it's a nail biter. A lot of the swing counties, President Trump has been able to hold on, especially to Republicans, hopefully to drive out some voters there later on in the year. That didn't happen because of COVID. Joe Biden's doing exactly what he has to do here. He's driving up the votes. So to win in North Carolina for Joe Biden, he's going to have to do that there and in Wake County as well. We're still waiting for some of the vote in there, but you can see Joe Biden is building on that Hillary Clinton lead in those counties. If he can keep doing that, there might still be enough vote out there, but President Trump right now on top of about 40,000 votes.
Byron Pitts, what are you hearing in Raleigh?
Well, George, I can tell you that at this point, the Democrats in the state are getting nervous. The expectation was that they knew they would have an early lead. They thought it would be big enough that they could hold off the Republican surge. They were looking for a double-digit lead when the numbers
New Hampshire.
It's only 9 points. And since that time, steadily as each half hour has passed, you've seen the President Trump gain ground, and eventually he's taken the lead. In the sense
New Mexico.
maybe right on time. And George, it's still early, right? I mean,
North Carolina.
either way, but this
It could go either way, but
we can see is that hard work can outwork money. In this state, for instance, in the Senate race, the Democrat outspent the Republican 2-1. And in TV advertising, the Trump campaign spent in TV and radio ads. The Trump and the RNC spent $41 million. Biden and the DNC spent $56 million. So that cash difference at this point doesn't seem to be a sufficient difference for the Democrats in a state in which they felt good going into the night, that they might have a comfortable lead that they could hold on to. But to this point, the Republican strategy to close and then finish strong seems to be the direction that we're going in, George.
Byron Pitts, thanks for
Utah. Well, Utah's probably going to go for Trump.
Donald Trump is going to win the state of Kansas. Again, it's a strong red state. Has always been 6 electoral votes. He won by 21 points back in 2016.
Kansas.
Donald Trump will win again.
I'm telling you, the Republicans are really good at the math. They're really good at the electoral college, or as my neighbors say, the electoral college.
Is this really going as you expected tonight?
Well, George, we had a record early turnout. 100 million Americans voted early, whether in person or by mail.
100 million.
As we're hearing from all over the country, we had record turnout in many states.
Record
So
turnout.
I'm optimistic. When there's record turnout, often that means Democrats win. And I'm hopeful that Joe still has several paths to 270 towards being our next president. I think his message all along that he and Kamala Harris can bring our country together, can move us out of this deadly pandemic and the mess that Donald Trump's bungled mishandling of the pandemic has gotten us into, has connected.
I need to take a nap. I've been like on and off. I guess maybe I don't know. Have you been sleepy lately? Like,
Colleagues in the Senate, the labor leaders in several states, and I'm still optimistic about
I'm not sure. I'm a little sleepy.
haven't come in yet.
But anyway, so, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit more. You say he still has several paths. It looks like Donald Trump, not projecting yet, but is on track in Florida towards a win. That was a must-win for him. Are we really getting back to the point where Joe Biden has to win all those 3 key blue all states, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Still holding that hope also in Arizona.
Arizona, I'm optimistic about, given what I'm hearing from a number of elected officials and local organizers there. And I think that means there's several different paths. It doesn't all come down to Pennsylvania. But I'll remind you, George, part of why Joe is a great candidate from the outset is he's someone who was born and raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claremont, Delaware, has always been close to the people of Pennsylvania, and I think has run a terrific race in Pennsylvania, as well as in Michigan and Wisconsin and Arizona. Those are states I'm optimistic about this evening.
Senator, could you still think we're going to hear from Vice President Biden tonight?
I'm hopeful, but not certain. You know, I think we need to remember that elections aren't called on election night. They may get projections from the news, but in the end,
I feel like I want to sleep in
it's often days after election night.
Yeah.
100 million cast early by mail and in person. We need to make sure.
I remember I had a roommate and she used to watch X-Files
This election.
while I was trying to sleep, and I would have the worst nightmares
Thanks very much for your time.
ever.
Go back to Cecilia.
And it was just like, and I was like, and I kept looking at her like, I'm trying to sleep, and you're playing like this yeah. So be very careful about taking a nap right now. I've been watching all of this. It's not good.
And we were told that they didn't know. We are sort of relying on what Kellyanne Conway told you at the beginning of the evening. He will, in fact, address the nation at some point.
Oh,
I have
Kellyanne
seen
Conway?
some
Okay.
photos from some photographer friends of mine here, colleagues in the White House who were in the room where the president's supporters are gathering in the East Room of the White House, and it looks very much like it is a room where he will speak. There's a podium, there are teleprompters up, so I would not be surprised if we hear from him at some night. And just in terms of a quick mood check, George, you know,
Mood
they've
check.
got these 2 war rooms here on the grounds of the White House, where aides and campaign staffers are feverishly monitoring these returns coming in. We've been told that the president has been going between the residence and these rooms and touching base regularly with aides, so they're keeping him up to speed on that front. But the mood check here is they're feeling extremely confident by what they're seeing. Those North Carolina numbers they like very much, and that's giving them some more confidence in states like Arizona and Nevada as we watch those numbers rolling over the course of the evening.
Thanks very much. ABC News can now project the Democrats are going to retain the House of Representatives. And not a surprise here, Democrats went into the night with a healthy margin in the House, but we can now say the Democrats will keep that margin.
So hello everyone. Thank you for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Trying to make sense of an insane world, literally one issue at a time. It's a lot of madness going on. People, I guess, are thinking that their votes counted, and sorry to break it to y'all, but none of the above. None of the above. What is her name? Oh goodness, give me 1 second. I'm trying to text this one person. Tell me how you all are doing, where you all are watching from, and what are your predictions? What are your predictions? Donald Trump, 68% of the votes in Kansas. Woo-hoo. What is her name? Kathleen.
The state of Kansas for President Trump as well. And today, as we look at that 95 to 93 at 1044 on the East Coast, 270 wins. As I said, it looks like we're doing a little bit of research.
Give me 1 more second, Tanda.
With all those big battleground states still out there, America about as divided as ever.
That's it. I'll give up. So thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what you think. Like, in real time, you know, is the world crashing to a halt? What are our thoughts here? It is a shit show. It's hard to take one's. Yeah, it's a total shit show. And you know, usually I have my puppets and things like that. I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm gonna become Rebecca, but it is what it is.
Other countries have. We've seen NASA seize the loyalty of people who are looking for.
So North Carolina is going to be for Trump. I mean, it's pretty much clear as day.
And they keep returning populist nationalists to power. Donald Trump is that person. I think he does come as a surprise. Pollsters.
Sorry to disappoint you all. Watching from Rhode Island with our whooping. Hey, those electoral college votes count, Paul. They count. Don't you ever forget it.
It's 20 electoral votes, not like Democrat state, won by Hillary Clinton in 2016.
I just texted someone and he was like, is it election night? It's like, stop it.
I mean, when
Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. So thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time, one electoral college vote at a time, one campaign promise at a time, one case of lead paint poisoning at a time. Just trying to make sense, trying to make sense. And I am your host, Kanani Ioholder. Black Issues live from the lounge in my new building. Yeah, so I haven't been able to be on for a little while, so love you all so much for watching and tuning in, reconnecting with you all. 2020, let's end it with a bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what happens, and it's all crazy. Let me get to some of your comments. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me what your predictions are. Gregory's in here. Gregory's an amazing, lawyer and just political mind. We have Paul on here. I love all of Paul's comments. He's such a bleeding heart and lover and carer. So let's get to some of your comments. Here's the 2016 electoral map compared to now. Wow. Okay. So I have to do that on. I have to look it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't. If I click that, then I'm out of the live. But thank you so much for that, Gregory.
Certainly, COVID
Michigan is 38% in, but Trump is in the lead of leads. My predictions are that this wins will be, yeah. This is gonna, and again, the fact that the media right now is trying to act like they're they're gonna call race in different states. I'm like, how? So let me put this on. I'm cold.
269, 269.
And I can actually put on the heat in here, but that means I have to walk away from you all for a second. I don't know if you all love me that much to stay on when I walk away. It's a little cold. My nose is running. Isn't it fabulous? I'm just always just randomly just stuff. Shopaholic. Wow. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna turn up the heat. I'm cold in here. I'm cold in here, and you all can see too. So this is the view. This is it. So I know y'all were watching me when I was in my living room, and I was like, you know what? I want a new apartment. I want to move. I fucking want a balcony. I want one of the fancy ass buildings. And the whites are gonna leave New York. They're gonna flee to Cape Cod. So I was like, let me move. I have a balcony. Shit. Let me turn on the heat here. I'm turning on the heat. So this is the heater here. And I have it up to 73. I'm going to put it up to 75. Cold. And then just turn it black around. Great. It's on commercial. Let me see if that's the right angle. No, too far right. Great. Okay. Woo! Yeah. I was like, sometimes I feel like I've always been this spiritual person that can manifest things, and I think, when you get in your own way and you start thinking too realistically, you're like, I kind of did that for a few years, but then I was like, fuck it, let me reach for the moon. Literally, my apartment is the apartment that they use to sell the entire building. If you Google my building right now and you look at the apartment that they're like, look at the apartment you taken. It's my apartment. And when I saw it on the website, I was like, I want that. And I was like, I got it. And then everything else is now I do diversity training and I was doing it before, but now I charge way more money. Okay, way more money. So, that's that. So I don't need to yet charge my iPad, but I will in a minute. Give me 1 second. Y'all can follow me here. I'm just gonna go get a chair. So, and the chairs are nice too. I'm just getting a chair so that I can charge my iPad and it doesn't turn or whatever. So here goes that. But yeah, I was just like, let me stop being realistic and let me like live my life and test God and be like, God, work this out. So God worked it out. And like literally, I'm just like, Tom, my rate went all the way up for diversity training. I'm just like, oh, no, honey. So time to take yourself seriously. Stop acting small. Stop being, start living in your divine right and truth. And that's my new story. And I'm sticking with it. So here's my phone. Okay. Family functioning in Cambodia. Excuse me. All right, so it's a lot going on. Thank you all for, oh my God, this is so funny. Like, I just randomly always match. Like, I was in my apartment, like, what am I gonna wear? And tell me why all of this matches randomly. Let me turn it so y'all can see. This is just a freaking commercial anyway. You're not missing anything. And even if it wasn't commercial, you're still not missing anything. That rat goes so, I know, it's not like, I feel like people are here, God gives people like certain like gifts and talents. Mine is literally that like, I can just randomly go like this and things will work out. Like literally, I ran home, my leg's crazy. I'm doing, I guess I can say it's the Red Cross that I'm doing diversity for, like 1,000 people on Zoom. And it's a lot of work. I like didn't sleep. And then they like needed like all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God. And so I was like running around all day trying to get all this stuff together for it. And then I got home and I was like, oh, what am I gonna wear? And I literally was just like, oh, I wear this in my own house sometimes. It's cute. And then I was like, oh, I just bought this. I was like, man. And it just so happens to match. So it's like, that's my gift. Like, I think everybody has a gift. My gift is just like finding things that are fabulous. And these glasses are like, like you would think that I like actually put all of this in. This is all an accident. But again, God gives you gifts, so that's my gift. Hopefully the Senate turns blue, so if Trump does win, he won't be so powerful. True. I think the way to look at Trump is beyond the scope of political of holding office. I think Trump is a media machine, right? That just so happens to be our president. And so I think it doesn't matter if Trump was president, if Trump was a senator, if Trump was a mayor. I think the power of Trump is that it's the media that he wants to control. He wants to control, again, I kept saying this, the narrative. And that goes beyond any, which is what? Political office. I wish I knew how to operate this TV and go on Fox, but I don't know. I'm new here, so I don't know the remote situation. And since we've been here, and I've only been living here about 2 to 3 weeks, somebody already broke the remote. So, it is something, because I am actually paying for this. I'm not in this 20% with this building, I'm in the 80%. So I'm actually paying this rent. So this is like, I'm a new bitch. I'm looking at people like, do you live here? I'm like, oh. It'll do this damn, not Graham. Harrison has to win. Oh yeah, no. Lindsey Graham beat him. Sorry, Janelle. Yeah, I guess you tuned in too late.
Evenly split between Harrison and Graham, and independent voters seeming to lean toward Harrison.
Oh.
But in the end, Graham pulled this one out.
Lindsey Graham won. Yeah, Janelle, I'm so sorry. So sorry. But
Thanks so much, John. I want to go to you.
He lost.
Jamie Harris was able to raise so much money is that Lindsey Graham had become such a target of progressives and liberals, going from being the best friend of John McCain to basically Donald Trump.
So Lindsey Graham flip-flops, left, right, and sinker, condemning Trump, and cozying up to Trump. And people like, he's not going to win. Lindsey Graham's not going to win. I don't think people understand that this is America. I think we think this is not America. We think it's the America that it's supposed to be. No, it's America that it is. And the America that I know would put Lindsey Graham back in office. That's the America I know. The America I know is going to put Trump back in office. That's the America I know. So come on, everyone. Let's all get civil. Oh my God, and then when you see the lining, it's even more crazy. I mean, it's like a whole thing. It's a whole, it just gets better. Oh shit. That's God.
We're gonna bury it in the Senate.
That's God. I just moved my thing and I was holding the remote. I changed it to Fox. I told you I'll be manifesting things, right? Y'all can see this in real time. I literally was like, oh man, I wish I knew what channel Fox was on. I showed off my little shrub here, and I accidentally turned it. It wasn't an accident, it's divine. All right, so y'all keep watching. I'm gonna go talk to God really quickly about all the other things that I need to manifest. I am viral. I am viral.
I also want to find out.
Especially in South Carolina. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, Janelle. Welcome to the madness. Here he goes. You wanted to talk about Lindsey Graham? I turned to Lindsey Graham by accident.
He's gonna win.
Oh, this is a total Bladgy. This is total. Oh, Bladgical? Yeah. It's crazy. I literally was just like, oh, Fox. I don't know. So I gotta.
This is the worst return on investment in the history of American politics.
Entertaining, engaging, informing, and inspiring millions of people throughout the world. Peabody. It's gonna happen, just like I literally was like, oh, Fox. Right? So it's gonna happen. Entertaining, engaging, informing, and inspiring millions of people. Millions. It's happening. My article about Trump's hip-hop Trump supporters got almost 4,000 hits between Instagram and Facebook on Baller Alert. So it's happening. It's happening. Here he goes. Good father.
You're a good husband.
Good husband.
You're a good man.
Good man.
And I look forward to working with you where I can.
There you go. Is he talking about Trump that way? He can't possibly be talking about Trump.
Now this is.
Oh, I'm a total. Yeah, it's no joke. I'm glad that people can see this in like real time. That like I could say something and then it like happens. It's crazy.
Day I got in this business until now.
I'm getting stronger and more powerful.
Politics.
I manifested this.
Governor, thank you for introducing me everywhere we went. I'm gonna steal all your jokes.
Oh,
and the lieutenant governor, and we just were.
And I love how Fox says it's like, screw the results. Let's show someone who actually won for a little while, right? Like, look at that.
Your ad made me cry. That's about the only ad.
They are wearing a mask though, right? They're wearing masks.
But Larry and Emily and Nicole, you have my heart to my aunt. Vern Mandel can't be with us thinking about y'all. To the Ball family, you're very much my family. This journey started in House District 2 in 1992, where Denise ran my first campaign. And when you put the kids in a wagon with Greg, we knocked on doors and definitely didn't win. And everything has just been an incredible ride since. Without what you did for me then in my first congressional race and my first Senate race, there would be no Lindsey Graham. So thank you all very much.
Ah, there you go. Woo!
She passed the baton to Scott.
I like this. Watch this. He's putting the weather at the bottom. They're telling you the weather in San Diego right now. It's nothing about the election results. Literally, current temperatures are at the bottom of Fox News' broadcast. Current temperatures. I love it. Off to the side, something about Trump and Biden, Electoral College, you know,
He's a
whatever.
terrific campaign manager. He's
Whatever.
a
But
father.
here, okay, so
I have
okay, some
the best
news.
campaign in
Biden
the
is tight
history
races
of
with
South
each
Carolina.
picking up electoral votes.
And it is wide and it is deep. And if you take us on, you better get up early and you better stay.
There you go.
130 meters. is not enough. So to Scotty Howe, who did the ads, well done, my friend. So we had a really, our seasoned team just delivered.
What is he saying?
Everybody
What is
lost
this?
work.
Why?
TW and Toby,
This is
thank
so
you.
sad.
In front of
I blame you, Janelle. You caused this, Janelle, so I need you in my life more often, Janelle.
I know a
You
lot
were like,
about
Lindsey Graham, what's going on? I just tuned in, I want to see. Well,
in every
because of you, we're now all watching now.
So it was
Because
just
I don't know what channel ABC is on. I
can't
just,
thank you all
I
enough.
don't know.
It's just a joy to be
So this
part
is
of
my
it.
like new purse here. I think it's so
All I can
cute.
say is that
It's a
the results
unicorn.
are
I think it's so cute. And again, look. I did not intend to
Tara,
match
thank
this
you
degree, but look at this.
raising
can't
$108
make
million
this
in
up.
counting.
I
Lindsey
did not
Graham,
intend to do this. Look at this.
2026 will be here before you know it. So,
That's my
so
power. It's
South
really
Carolina
weird, but
Republican
thank you
Party
for being a
grew.
witness
Y'all
to it.
really knocked it out of the park
So
for all
cute.
of us.
Woo!
To the victory team, it's the best run victory operation in the history of the state.
There you go. Best run victory team. Yeah, because they
To the state
gerrymandered
house
and
speaks
voted
to the
purged
candidates who sent out
and
the
voted
election.
intimidated.
Thank you. This is a team sport and we're doing well in South
Cute,
Carolina
it's cute.
tonight.
It's cute. It's
To
cute.
my congressional colleagues and patriots, we have the best Republican House district of House representation. that's
Yeah,
been
channel that
president.
unicorn. Yep, channel that unicorn magic. Yep, and hypnotize all
I
y'all.
can't thank you enough, and let's start with the knee.
Unicorn.
Joe
magic.
Wilson, you're a great man. Thank you
Oh
so
man, I'm
much.
missing my puppets. I left them upstairs. I was like, I'm not gonna do
Congratulations to you.
I was gonna become a
Nobody
Rebecca.
works harder.
You
He
know,
loves the military, and if you want a keychain,
this is such a fucking snoozer.
William Timmons, thank you for all you did in the Greenville-Spartanburg area. You're terrific. You have a bright future. To Jeff Duncan, you won the cyber war all by yourself.
Fox
Thank
News is
Jeff,
also
you my campaign more than
alerting me right now. What does Fox say? Fox News predicts California's winner. Who's picking up the biggest electoral prize in the nation? Well, if California goes to Trump, I'll die. So I guess they want to sell something on Fox News. So let me see. Let me click on this and see.
Who, always pretty much talks in sound bites and said that he was with President Trump today, and he told.
Swing states too early to call between Biden and Trump. The polls closed. This has nothing to do with California. Thanks, Fox.
In 4 states.
Meanwhile, protests outside of the White House at Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. remain tense as country awaits clearer presidential electoral results. Thanks, Fox. Just a handful of states still have polls open after yet more states closed their polls Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Thanks, Fox. Among other critical races that are too early to call between Biden and Trump are those in Florida, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, and all the important battleground state of
polls
Pennsylvania.
just closed here at 9 o'clock local time. That's 10 o'clock Eastern time. And let me tell you, we've been at the polls all day since 7 a.m. local time, since they opened, and it's been
She
slow
scares
but
me.
steady. You talk to county auditors across the state.
Yes, it is.
they say
That's a
that
very good
50% of registered
assessment,
voters cast their
Janelle.
ballots early this year. So what does that mean at the polls? At the polls, we're seeing about 10 to 20 people every hour. Again,
CNN.
that's that slow and steady pace. And for poll workers, that's a great thing. That means they were organized and ready for the crowds today.
I should have this as like my gold chain, you know?
Iowa only has about 6 electoral college.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But
I think
that's
this
really
is.
important
I think this is
because
it.
we have a lot of pivotal
I think
counties.
this is
If
it.
you remember back in
This is Zola.
2016,
This is
Iowa was
Zola.
one of those states that a lot of
Like
counties
that,
switched
yeah.
over from.
Hello, George. So, I should actually read. Are y'all ready for me to become Rebecca? Like, I should so do it.
Any of those
Fuck
31
y'all.
counties that President Trump won back in 2016.
Hold on.
Yeah, that is gonna be interesting, no doubt.
So I'd have to do that, and then my glasses. Where are the glasses? Hold on. I just have to get the glasses. I'll just become Rebecca for a minute because it's just so fabulous. It's just so fabulous. Rebecca for the black. So hold on. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. Get to see my creative process.
Yeah, well, as we look at the, states across the country, like Pennsylvania, for example, and they're predicting that the results may not be known tonight, but Iowa is one of few states that the counting actually started earlier. So Iowa started opening those absentee ballots over the weekend. They started counting
so much for Minnie Hicks for breaking it all down for us in Iowa as we continue to always bring you the latest here on News Now from Fox. Special coverage continues. The election 2020. Thank you.
And hello, darlings. How are you doing tonight? Yes. So we're glad to hear today. We're to get live and direct from the. I don't even know where I am, darling, but wherever it is always fabulous. Cheers, kisses, darlings, kisses. Oh yes, darling, both sides of the cheek. Oh, who am I, darling? Oh, you would like to know? Oh, I am Rebecca Finch. Rebecca for the blacks, darlings. Rebecca for the blacks. For black issues. There's so many issues and so little time. So thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. Do you like my trend here? Is it lovely, darling? Yes.
Remember, the president only won Florida by about 1.1
What is it, darlings?
percentage points
Oh,
last
yes.
cycle. This time it was
Republicans' policies help poor people. Oh my. It's not just throw up. We have to be careful of the throw up, darling. Throw up is really hard to get out when you do dry cleaning. And I always wear dry cleaning. It's the only type of material that I ever wear, right? And there's so much material to talk about. And also dry cleaning material. Yes, this is dry cleaning, darling. Dry cleaning. So you decide, darlings. So you decide. Is it, speaking of decisions, darling, let's vote. Let's all vote right now, darling. Let us all vote right. Are we voting for to wear this as a necklace or to wear, excuse me, darlings, or to wear it as a actual person? Okay, so 1 for purse, 2 for necklace, darling. Type in right now. Type in the comments, darlings. Type in the comments. Let me know, darlings. 1
Campaign season, we were seeing
necklace.
and these rallies that just weren't even
2
sanctioned by the campaign, but they would have these boat rallies
purse,
all around Florida that we were seeing pop up.
So you can just type in the comments right now. 1 or 2, darling. Help me decide, darlings. I was watching from Facebook, but I switched to YouTube because I heard you were here. Oh yes, darling. Oh, thank you, darling. Rebecca's for the blacks, darling. Rebecca's for the blacks. Yes. Yes, thank you so much, darling. Yes. And as I continue to expand upon the blacks and the issues, darlings, I just really like to take over all of the different areas. All of the infinite possibilities, right? So the Instagrams, the YouTubes, the TikToks, Rebecca is on there because Rebecca is for the blacks. And wherever the blacks are, Rebecca will go. Rebecca will what? Rebecca will go. Where does she go? She goes to the blacks because it's an issue. The blacks have the issues, darling. And I am the senior editor at large of the Black Issues magazine. Thank you, darlings. Shall we? So, I asked everyone to vote. And I don't know if I can't see because of glasses, but I didn't really see people voting. So I think I'm going to do the executive decision and say that I would like this. And so this is how I continue. But yes, this is exactly, how I want to live my life. Something about the election is going on. Something about, voting is going on. And so my angle for that is voting is the new black. Because I'm all about the fashion. Rebecca on fashion. Rebecca on fashion. I can just do a little pose though. Rebecca, fashion, yes, darlings, yes. Pose it, yes. Oh yes. No autographs. No autographs. My fans are always fun. I just have to go. I actually love doing Rebecca. Isn't she fun? Oh my fucking god! So boom, you all got to see my creative process. I'm out of my mind, y'all. I'm out of my mind. These are fly. Yeah, but I'll put on my normals because I don't want to confuse.
All right, Stephen Pelosi, thank you so much.
I am 2 different people. Okay, I don't want people thinking I'm crazy. It's my character. She is so much fun. Do you all have any questions for Rebecca? Because I might bring Rebecca back on in 10 minutes or so. So if you have any questions for her, she can prepare for them. Thank you. Thank you all for humoring me about that. Thank you all for being a part of my creative process. I love Rebecca. She's just so much fucking fun for me. She's a hoot dog. She's a total hoot. So let me see what you all have in the comments. Let me put that on my arms. Thank you.
There's people in those towns, the center of America, told us what we took into the 2020 elections, and that's that they.
All right. So what does it say here?
We want more progress and less partisanship. We want an
Anxious in all sorts of feelings, but election night is energizing me, even though it's a shit show. Yeah, it's a total shit show, darling. It is a total. This to me is actually pretty dead. Like, it's very subdued. To me, it's very subdued. Like, I was literally just going to, oh, it's 11:11. So 11:11, I'm gonna stop everyone and just put out your dreams, put out your manifestations, put out your hopes, put out your desires, visualize it. That's how I was able to get this apartment. Literally, I need to do a video on like how I manifested this apartment. Like, it is the best apartment in the building. Yeah, it's a 2-bedroom with a huge balcony. Yeah. So manifestation works, meditation works, speaking it into existence works, visualizing works, all of it works. Like, yeah. One day I said to myself, why am I still living here? Why am I still dealing and arguing with my landlord? Why? You know, why is there no heat? I'm cold. I need to focus. And I was like, you know what? And I manifested it. It took a month. Intense visualization. Oh, she's transnational. She's transnational. Yeah, she's beyond the border coding. You know, borders are so 20th century coding. She's transnational. Look, it's so much fun. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I have a video on YouTube now, actually, where I walk. Well, not I, but Rebecca walks through Harlem. Interviewing people on 125th Street. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So thank you all for humoring me and my creative process.
He says he and his team are working very hard to get all of these votes, processed and then counted, but it's going to be a while because Grand Rapids.
Chicago is 39 degrees, 59 degrees and clear. Dallas is fair at 55, because you need to know this. You need to know the weather right now. Denver is partly cloudy at 57. Detroit is clear 53. Houston is clear 51. Okay. Las Vegas is clear and 70. Los Angeles, however, is clear and 62. Miami, on the other hand, is partly cloudy 65. Milwaukee clear 57.
We've mentioned that Michigan is going to be a
is this like Fox? I'm so confused. This is
a few days.
Subdued.
They don't expect to have any results.
Rebecca, do you find that social injustice is bad for the complex? Ooh, Paul. Excellent question. Social injustice. Yeah. To me, it brings on adult onset acne. So I try to avoid it at all costs. Mask on, darlings. It's Rebecca mask on. Rebecca's always wearing a face mask, darling. And that's just it. This is all you can do for the social, unrest, darling? No. She must get her beauty sleep. So that's it, yes. Thank you. Thank you for the question, yes. I thoroughly confused myself now because I'm answering as a Rebecca, not in Rebecca. No! What's going on? No, I lost it.
Might cause some concerns for people like, why do we gotta wait this long?
This must be like a local Fox channel. Again, I don't know what I touched. I don't know what the channels are. I can try again. I don't even know what.
It's going to cause some.
Let's see here.
Anxiety, even if everything.
This is the remote.
So the fact that there are some things that are,
These are problems to have, right? Oh, the TV and the loud. What channel? Let me see here.
But you can also.
This is boring you. All eyes on Michigan. This is boring you to death.
Monitor the Department of
Channel
Justice
7.
Rights Division is monitoring polling locations across.
Oh, she was talking about polling locations across. That's when I changed it. I should have left it. Damn it. Oh, fuck. Press the wrong button. I should have left it alone. Of course, when I intentionally press a button, that's when the shit don't want to work. Remember when I went like this and went on Fox, was what I had just said I wanted it to go to? Oh, Jesus. 45. Let me just see what 45 does. I'm just curious. See what it does. It does nothing. God damn it. All right, check your antenna, check the source. Boop, boop. There's gotta be a way. Oh, source. Let's see. Oh. source. Oh, I am deep in the weeds and not knowing what I'm doing now. I should have left it alone. Text. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh, nope, that's not gonna work. So that much I know. Somehow source doesn't work. So then, okay, connection died. No, that doesn't work. Okay, great. All right. Okay. Now we're in business. Search box. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's see here. I have no idea. I'm like sweating. I'm like, what am I doing? I should have left this shit alone. Ugh, Canadian. Loading. Search. So maybe I can type in MSNBC. Boom. All right. It's happening, y'all. It's happening. These are problems to have. These are problems to have. M. Okay. S. I sound like I'm doing Wheel of Fortune. S. 2 S's. Vanna White saunters across the screen. M. S. Okay. So if MSNBC is it, right, which we have there, right? No. So channel list. Let's see, channel list. There you go, Canadian. Thinking, reading. Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah. Shit, y'all done saw everything now. Y'all done see my creative process, switching from Rebecca to myself. Now you see me trying to figure out this TV that's 84 inches. Boy. All right, so let's see here. Latest headlines, that's CBS News, but that's the online. News Now from Fox. Okay, so ABC, that's live. So let's just go right back to that and call it a night, because if I keep touching stuff, I might not ever get out of here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ah! Skills, y'all. Skills. That's why I used to look at my students like, figure it out. Use your brain. Don't give up. Figure it out. So, thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Literally trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. I'm your host, Canadian Holder, live from the lounge of my new building. Happened to like match perfectly by accident. Hold on, let me turn it down.
To listen to every day. While the Edinburgh World is saying it start here. The Daily News podcast from ABC News.
Go figure. So I can stay on for a little while longer. What time is it now? 11:19.
Biggest news stories of the day. Inside all the details, the backstory, and local.
So I gotta wake up early.
Listen to start here.
What do y'all do for your morning routine? Is there anything that you all do that you all can like suggest to each other? Like type in the comments right now. What do you all do for a morning routine? Like how do you like get your day started? I'm gonna share mine after you all share yours. Go! Morning routines. How do you stay safe when you wake up in the morning? First thing that you do is what? Comment now.
He stole approximately $8.1 million.
Oh, God.
Where's all this money coming from?
Where is all this money coming from?
I'm looking over.
The pond.
All new and royally good. Wednesday on ABC.
Woo! God, it's so good. Like, it's so good.
Welcome to Real-Time Answers.
Oh.
The morning after this historic election with the most powerful team in politics live. First thing in the morning, ABC.
Okay, so what did you say? Hit snooze 5 times, then make coffee and shower with quickness. Oh no, Paul. Oh wow, that doesn't sound like very like first thing in the morning. Okay. Anybody else? Ooh, what do we do? First thing in the morning. How do we get through the day? How do we get through the first 10, 20 minutes of our morning? What do we do when we wake up? What is your morning routine? I'm going to share with you mine after I share with you, if you all share with me yours. 11:20 in New York. Look at that studio. It is a palace. It is a shrine to Babylon. All of this and like our political system makes absolutely no sense and is so disjointed from actual justice. But hey, it looks good. So let's listen to Nate Silver because he clearly is like autistic.
Indicative of a polling error in other parts of the country, or is it isolated to South Florida? the fact that Biden has won New Hampshire, for
And I don't mean that as an insult. I think that that's what he is.
Florida, maybe not probably elsewhere, the fact that Arizona looks okay for Biden. So look, it's going to be a long night. I think we're in a scenario we're talking about. This might take days to get resolved.
Days to get resolved.
Just an isolated incident in Florida versus a national polling problem kind of like we saw in 2016.
Yeah, we still don't know how the popular vote is going to come in. Of course, we expect to see millions and millions of votes coming in from the Pacific West Coast, especially California.
I don't know why they declared victory for anything.
But they didn't make you president. And so, you know, I mean, look, it feels a little bit like 2016, but also a bit like 2018, where Florida went very badly for Democrats, but they had a good night in the end of the day. The fact that different corners of the country, the fact that New Hampshire went for Biden and Arizona looks okay for Biden would give Democrats quite a bit of hope, I would think. But, you know, if they lose Pennsylvania, then we probably have a second term for Trump. So it's going to take a long time to know.
You heard
what
him.
happens in Pennsylvania, what happens in Wisconsin, what happens in Michigan. We'll know more.
Michigan.
You know, 2 or 3.
North Carolina.
It's going to be a while here.
Well, and we should just emphasize that. We said it at the beginning of the night. We'll say it again.
Yeah, say what?
We
Disclaimer.
have to have patience. We have to wait until all the votes are counted.
But you're like already declaring victories. You're already declaring winners, though. So.
And Wisconsin, it is looking increasingly clear that we are not going to know who the next president of the United States will be tonight. We're just going to have to be patient as we go through this process in the coming hours. And
So
perhaps
Michigan, 44% of the vote is in.
right now, 67% of the expected
67.
vote is
Okay.
in, and Tommy
Oh, Georgia.
Trump appears to have a fairly healthy lead right now.
You know, we're talking about 340,000 votes, and I want to show you one data point.
That does not include all the voter purging.
Donald Trump actually winning in the early vote in the state of Georgia. So we talked about the spread, almost 400,000 votes. Donald Trump's really needs to hold the swing counties he took from the Democrats 4 years ago. He's winning again. Places like Peach County. We want to look at Peach County because, as you can imagine, they got peaches there. But it also has a good breakdown in the state. They have 50% white, 44% African American.
54% white.
Donald Trump won 4 years ago, and he's holding on to the same lead.
Let's see, everyone's saying electoral. To done. Okay.
This is maybe for other people on the panel, but the big question
Thank
is,
you for the math,
there's
Paul.
300,000 votes in this area.
I've been saying this all night, Janelle. Like, how the hell are they calling? Yeah, they're declaring winners. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Donald Trump is winning. His people are turning out.
I'm going to share my morning routine on commercial.
We're going to have to wait and see. If we go to some of these counties, you know, like DeKalb, there's only 24% of the voting. And Joe Biden, he's doing better. But the question is he doing well enough to drive out all those numbers and drive them in a big way? I don't know if 3 or 4 percentage points is going to do that. He's going to have to come up much higher.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. We should also say we now know that in the Senate race, one of the Senate races in Georgia, Reverend Raphael Warnock, the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, will be in a runoff with the Senator Kelly Loeffler, right now Republican Senator. Yvette Simpson, that could be quite a barn burner on January 5th.
We are ready
Okay.
to battle for that seat. And we're
Oh,
so
wait a
excited.
minute. Isn't she
Who was a newcomer,
the,
do so well
the
against
WNBA? She's the WNBA owner who, like, rejected and denounced Black Lives Matter. She's a total ass.
Folks are ready.
We hope to take that seat, and very good possibility there'll be a second runoff on the same day.
Exactly.
Georgia. Let's pull up now Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Of course, those are those key blue tier states. Blue wall for the Democrats was taken away by Donald Trump in 2016. Right now, 44% of the expected voting in Michigan. Donald Trump is ahead. 52% in Wisconsin. Donald Trump is ahead.
Wow.
45% in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump.
So
is
he's ahead in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania.
Right now, this is not necessarily
Wow.
unexpected.
Yeah, this is not unexpected. Remember, the mail-in vote, which we expect to be overwhelmingly Democratic, didn't even start counting.
So why
Start
even-
counting until today. So
They should put a big disclaimer over all of these
as
results.
it goes on, and not just tonight, but over
They're setting people up. Like this is still calm, but you sit there and say this 2-3 days later that, oh no,
absentee vote votes
it's swung in the way in the other direction. People are gonna lose
until
it.
Friday. So this is going to take some time. But George, looking into some of the details here, particularly in Michigan, I see
Things actually
signs
really
of
tight on
conservative
Michigan.
to
Like,
the Democrats. I
what the hell
see
they
Donald
make?
Trump
They make this
performing
out
in these
poor
early
little
returns
3-year-old
quite
doesn't
well
make
in
these
places like Macomb County, which he won last time. He seems to be potentially putting up numbers bigger than he did 4 years ago, and also in Kent County, Grand Rapids, which is where he held his very last rally of this.
You're pretty spot on, Paul.
Tell us more about what you're hearing, about how the county is going, how long
You're
it's
pretty
going.
spot on.
Well, George, it will definitely be a marathon.
Commercials coming up.
But at least in Michigan,
Wow.
not as marathon as
What
projected.
will we be on?
Secretary of State Benson said a short time ago in a press conference that she believes it will be fully tabulated within 24 hours. Now, they originally said they wouldn't be done until Friday, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that yesterday, unlike the other upper Midwestern states, they had 10 hours to process. They had an army of volunteers come in, hand open envelopes, check signatures, so that at 7 a.m. this morning.
That sounds very fishy. Remember that whole floating pad thing?
They were able to
You're gonna count all those ballots in a day?
That said, they are also seeing record turnout in Detroit. I spoke earlier to the NAACP's
Detroit needs black.
and he said that they had 100 lawyers fanned out looking for voter intimidation, and what they ended up doing was spending a lot of time getting out the vote, bringing souls to the polls, as the Reverend told me. At the
Souls to
same
the
time,
polls.
Republicans are also incredibly enthusiastic about their ground game. The party chair, Laura Cox, told me that they had 9 million voter contacts during this season, that every time they were out canvassing, they never saw any Democrats, and they cannot tell you enough about the enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's not that
they
easy,
see
Paul.
And they viscerally feel every time there are these giant rallies, so many of which took place in the battleground state of Michigan. And George, don't get me started on the lawn signs.
He
but,
literally
you know,
said, "Don't
you
get me
see it
started."
all over. You know you're in a battleground in these suburbs when there's a Biden sign on one side, the Trump signs on the other. I went to a Trump volunteer meeting, a packed room, and the organizer said, how many of you have had your lawn sign stolen or vandalized? And almost the entire room's hand went up. It says something about just how tense the battleground is here out in the suburbs.
It sure does. I want to go to Mary Bruce right now.
The
Remember,
horror.
any concern in the Biden camp, picking up what John Carl was saying about the way the votes are coming in Michigan and how they're coming in?
The read from inside the Biden campaign right now is urging caution and patience. They say, look, they are feeling fine, and that is because this was expected. They knew that many of these key states, especially the blue wall states, were going to take some time. That said, there has been a bit of a shift in tone. Given the real enthusiasm, the real confidence that we were hearing from members of the Biden team heading into tonight, now you hear more the words hopeful, optimistic, but they were really bullish earlier in the night. Now not so much of that, but George, I have to tell you, behind me, they've started to bring in the cars here to this drive-in rally, but are really trying to pick at the tea leaves here. Not sure what that means about whether we may or may not see Joe Biden later tonight, but of course, he sort of changed his tune there, saying he may actually not speak until tomorrow.
But perhaps
Yep, just like Hillary.
We're going to keep an eye on that. And of course, we're going to be here as long as the votes are being counted. Tonight, we're going to take another quick break right now. Election
Take a
2020,
break.
which continues right now. Joe Biden has 187 electoral votes, Donald Trump 114
Wow.
electoral votes. It's a close one.
It's a close one. All right, so shout out to, hopefully there's a black homecoming that I can go to, but right now, this particular lotion that I use by Burt's Bees smells so good. It's just like, it smells so good. All right, so
There's more than one kind of luxury, but there's only one way to
trying
live
to mute it.
your way.
There you go. And I did not use hand sanitizer to spray the remote. Haha. Usually I think of things like that. I just think about like, damn it, I'm touching this remote. It's all right. Did I bring my hand sanitizer? Oh my god. Watch me like spaz out. Like I've been using hand sanitizer for like 10 years or more. Like it's just not some new thing because of COVID. I frequently I'm like spazzing out if I don't have my, well, I don't frequently do that because I usually carry it with me. But you know what, even though I didn't have hand sanitizer because I am that crazy, I keep all my essential oils all the time. So essential oils basically kill everything too. So I have lavender, I have, this is cinnamon. So either way, I was gonna be clean. So speaking of which, what do I do when I wake up in the morning? So when I went like this a little while ago, I literally was like, come on, God, how much better can it get than this? Literally. I was just like, thank you, God, for everything. And I'm so grateful for so much more. Like literally, I do that. Come on, Detroit. Yeah, the Blacks. Let's go, Detroit. Let's go. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm still trying to like finalize my routine, to be honest with you. Like I've been here 3 weeks tomorrow, I guess. Still haven't had a routine yet, but in theory, Right now, I wake up, I don't even meditate, I'm blind, don't even do that, I've just been working so hard. But before that, since moving in here, like I wake up, I put on my oil diffuser, I burn some incense. What do? I try to do some deep breathing, I usually do some type of meditation. Even right now in deep breathing, it's good. You can tell because my voice gets deeper. And then, yeah, so like I wake up and like I can see the sunrise. It's crazy. It's floor to ceiling windows. So I can see the entire horizon. It's crazy. The first week I moved in, I cried. I literally would cry. I was like, oh my God, this is like so much. Like, I guess my pineal gland was like decalcifying, if y'all know what that means. So let's hear what she has to say. Thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues.
Those ballots are going to be counted, but they're being segregated because the Supreme Court actually left wide open the possibility that it might take another look at this case after the election. And you don't know that, and it's important, I think, to note that Justice Amy Coney Barrett is now in place, and there's a question about whether she might participate.
She's biased. She is going to participate. She's not going to recuse herself. Hello.
This late arriving ballots.
I want to bring that to Dan Abrams as well, because we all remember 2000 Florida. If it's close, that adds another layer of complication as well. If you have recounts and have to have the ballots counted again. So first you have the challenges to the existing ballots and then the possibility.
And you know Trump is going to challenge. You do know that Trump is going to challenge.
We've said in our room here, the legal room, we're only relevant if this thing is close. This thing is now close. And so as a result,
it's not a landslide.
All on speed dial. There's no question that there are going to be some form of legal challenges. We don't know exactly how real they will be, how significant, but Pennsylvania could become critical here. And as you point out, not just with regard to
y'all hear this?
3
This
days
is not fun.
of ballot counting, because there may not be that many
Arizona
votes in those 3 days.
Do y'all hear what he's saying right now? Not fun.
Is going to be exactly how they're counting, the variety of votes, the signatures matching, etc. And I think that those
You hear this? Signature matching?
Even more than
We ain't gonna know this election for another year and a half.
Okay, and Terry,
Signature
we
matching.
saw how that played out in Florida in 2000.
We did, and one of the big questions here is how much will this conservative supermajority that is now in the Supreme Court defer to state Supreme Courts that find under state constitutions that these ballots should be counted, or will they reach into those states and federalize the question, decide for themselves?
Yes, they are.
Questions ahead. We'll
The
see.
COVID-19 relief was not federal, it was state. But when it comes to the election is going to be federal. And it's federal because it's going to be partisan towards Trump. And that's that, folks.
Wednesday night, get ready for
Because
so big, so outrageous, never seen.
I should have done this initially. Oh, sorry. I told you I was like not sleeping. Initially, I didn't do a vlog on it, but I knew that when COVID-19 first hit, I was like, okay, this is going to be a states versus federal. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be that type of a issue, right? Like if the federal government is not going to do anything, and so then the states are going to take up for themselves, and it's not going to be uniform. Just like the driver's license look totally different, and the license plates look totally different. COVID-19 looks totally different. You know, in terms of like a public office response, like certain governors like open it up, and the governors like shut it down, right? But when it comes to the election, oh, that's going to be federal. Oh, no. Trump is going to like, listen, these are the standards that we're going to judge all these ballots by. I need you to ship them all to us. We're going to count them all. We're going to sit there and say, yes. So just be prepared for that. Just be prepared. This looks scary, whatever the hell it is. Oh, it just said the word chilling. I told you, I can literally manifest. God, my back itches right now. So what else do I do for my morning routine? So the apartment, not to brag, but it has speakers built into the ceiling. So I usually play some music, some meditation music before I meditate. And what I'm gonna do, I used to want like a glass top table, but I'm gonna get Lucite. I'm gonna get all plastic, like Lucite. You're like, no, that's cheap. No, it's not cheap. It's not that it's cheap. I want to be able to move it so I can just dance in my living room. So that'll be my morning routine. Wake up, meditate, visualize, dance, cry looking at the sunrise. We're losing track here, right? Burning the incense and the oil diffuser. Anything else? Yeah, and going to the roof. I haven't been to the roof, and like it's so bizarre. Like I should be going to the roof like every day, and then I get tired and I sleep. But I should go to the roof tonight since I'm already like here. It's no joke. It literally will just like shut you. It's like okay. It's okay. All right. Yeah, it gives you like perspective. All right, Gregory, bring it on, Gregory. Bring it on.
It's some of them, starting with the state of Florida.
Biden can win, but will depend on mail-in votes, of course, yeah. Those votes are most vulnerable to Trump's legal challenges. Yep, not good. It's like a boxing champion bout where the challenger Biden is even on point, but needs a knockout to win. Yes, great analogy, Gregory. The fouling combinations that are still possible
plus advantage.
as of 11:35 p.m. are
Look at this, George. We're talking about
for Biden to win PA, okay, or Arizona, PA, or Michigan, Arizona, Iowa, Wisconsin.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, so let's see what happens, but Trump, Wisconsin, Florida.
52% of the Latino vote to 47% for Donald Trump. If that number holds and bears out at the end of the night, that's a significant number for Donald Trump, not only with Cuban Americans, but perhaps gaining on some of the numbers we saw 4 years ago with the Latino vote. And look at this, we asked seniors, particularly in I-4 corridor and other parts of Florida, whether or not...
Wow, okay, so that means that Biden might win Florida?
...concerned when they would be able to help their grandchildren, as Lindsay Davis talked about earlier in the evening.
Well, this is fucking told. This is not the actual, if they voted for him or not. I don't trust any of these opinion polls here.
Okay, let's take a look now.
They'll still vote for Trump because they think they will get a tax hookup, or they are going to get a tax hookup. You know what I'm saying?
Expected vote in 54-45, right there for Joe Biden.
So Arizona, okay. 75% and that's like a 9-point, 10-point lead, give or take. That's not bad.
Yeah, but one more data point we haven't talked about yet. It's a county that's sandwiched in between Maricopa and Tucson, right? Pinal County right here. This was the county that swung the biggest for Trump 4 years ago, where he was most popular. And look at his numbers down. He's down 7 points right there. In a very tight race, in a very tight election, you can't be down 7 points anywhere. It's just one.
So what do you all think happened? Do you think that people didn't, because the optics look like it was going to be Biden with a landslide, right? Like all these people kept coming out to vote. So is it the gerrymandering? Is it the voter purging? Like, what do you think happened? Why even now it doesn't look like an absolute resounding Trump defeat, landslide? Like, what do you think? The Lincoln Project, like, you had all of these moving parts, and it still looks like Trump ain't knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So what Gregory says is right. Like, it's not a total knockout now, and it's definitely, in terms of the ballot thing, like, please, your signature's off, floating Chaz is too uncertain,
85% there's also a chance of an electoral college tie. But Trump, if he loses Arizona, he could actually win Pennsylvania and then get to 269 or get to 268. That would not be enough. It could come down to the second congressional district in Omaha, Nebraska, or the one in upstate Maine. So if Arizona goes Biden, that really reverses not all the bad news Democrats got earlier in the evening, but makes Trump an underdog again.
Well, and then, picking up what John Carter was saying about Michigan, once again, this is pure speculation at this point, but we're just trying to figure out what different maps might look like. If the Democrats win Arizona, Joe Biden holds Pennsylvania, but Donald Trump gets Michigan, and only 16 electoral votes to Pennsylvania's 20.
Pennsylvania is bigger. And 20 votes in Pennsylvania versus 16 in Michigan and 10 in Wisconsin, that can make a difference some of the time, right? There's a lot we don't know. Nevada could be in play, probably not. Georgia, I think, is not going to be called tonight. So there are other scenarios, but we are looking at a lot of photo finishes, and in the photo finish, Arizona becomes a pretty important state.
You mentioned Nevada, and I wonder, Tom, if we can I'm talking to the control room right now. Can we pull up Nevada and take a look at what we're seeing in the state of Nevada right now? We we still, they're gonna take time, because we have all the early vote, and we just don't have anything coming in on that yet. So let's go back to Wisconsin. Deb Roberts, I want to go to you in Wisconsin right now. What are you hearing about the possibility of when the count will be?
Did all the votes arrive? Gerrymandering, voter suppression, and a whole bunch of white supremacists. Yeah.
George, I gotta tell you, there's good news, bad news. The good news is
What's
it
bad
seems to be going very well. All of those absentee mail-in ballots, about 2 million of them, they're being processed very well. The Wisconsin Election Commission head, Megan Wolf, said that they're processing very well. But then she said she probably will give another news conference about 11:30.
I know, Paul, exactly.
Now, the one thing that is so
Now we're
interesting,
going
we
through
talked
parsing
about
through
this tonight,
states and
is
permutations of electoral combinations to win. It's just ridiculous. But I love your analysis, Gregory. I mean, it's such an honor to have you on. I just love your you're just like laser. You're laser. You know. All we can do is try to vote for the slightly less offensive guy, says the white man. Who's the white man, Paul? Who's white man?
But then I spoke with another voter who said, I'm worried about healthcare, and this is in a state that is dealing with the COVID virus. But then he said, I think I'm going to support the president, or I just supported the president. So Wisconsinites are very mixed here, and I think it's going to be a
Yep, because people can sit there and think like maybe Trump is not Trump's fault,
but it's going to be very, very tight here. I
it's
think
not fair to
Wisconsinites
Trump.
just aren't sure what they think. The president's been here 6 times. Joe Biden came here 3
I'm afraid for
times.
healthcare, but I'm still going to vote for Trump. Oh my God, Trump just had a bad break. Oh, you know, COVID's just this horrible thing. It's from China.
For the same question, what are you hearing
So
about
blanco.
how the count is going?
I love it
How
though.
long it's likely to take?
You're so dope, Paul.
Well, sort of like what Deb just said, some good news and some bad news. They say that the counting is going smoothly. Originally, they thought that we would have the majority of those mail-in ballots counted by Friday, but we just heard a little bit earlier tonight from the Philadelphia City Commissioners, and they were saying that they originally thought that they were going to be able to do about 32,000 ballots an hour. That's just not happening. They're saying right now they're doing about 10,000 per hour. They've done about 75,000 votes, mail-in ballots so far tonight. They've estimated about 350,000 to count. We're supposed to hear from them again at about midnight to give us an update. That's the next kind of ballot drop number that we're expecting to hear from them. But here's the thing, it's just going to take a long time. I've heard you say this tonight repeatedly, George. People are just going to have to be patient. This is a slow process. Here in Pennsylvania, I mean, there's like 2.5 million mail-in ballots that came in. This is a state that's never done early voting for all voters that want to take advantage of it.
They make it so complicated to vote. Then on top of that, they're going to make it so complicated to count it, which means that people are going to feel like even more like, what's the point of voting? It's hilarious, y'all.
Doing the best that they can. People are working around the clock, as we're seeing here in Philadelphia, but it is going to take time. They want to make sure this count is accurate, George.
Which is the most important thing for them to do right now. Even though, thanks very much. We can project 2 more states right now. The state of New
Project.
Mexico is going to go to Joe Biden.
Okay, New Mexico.
It's 5 electoral votes.
5 electoral votes, though. Keep your eye on the prize.
Joe Biden will win it tonight. And the state of Idaho, it's 4 electoral votes.
Oh!
Donald Trump, he won the state by 32 points in 2016.
So it looks like it's the same thing that happened, right? That the Democrats are on the coast, right? And the Republicans are in the middle.
What's the surprise? What you mean?
But I was about to say the surprise. There's no surprise. These people are still for Trump.
For Republicans, yeah. I mean,
It's
I was
bizarre.
I thought Joe Biden was going to win this, and it is far from clear that he's going to win this election. And the president seems to be doing much better in the upper Midwest. Now, again, we don't know exactly what vote is in. It may be heavily election day vote, but you know, clearly in some of those counties, the president is overperforming, and even overperforming what
Yeah,
he did in
he's knocking it out of the
2016.
park.
So I think this is going to be a nail.
Is this the Russians again?
I think
The Chinese? Do you think that there's any foreign interference with this on top of that?
they did.
Zero. Yeah, exactly. With the Mormons, Romney. Yeah. I can't believe you can deposit a check by taking a picture with it on your phone. We can't even run an election. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like in New York, before COVID-19, there was I can't stand Rahm Emanuel. I'm like, y'all know that he,
Those are numbers that are.
just look at him. To even listen to him. He's so like, I am who I am. I know what I'm talking about. This fucker was the mayor of Chicago for 8 years. And it's a total abysmal failure. And yet he has the nerve to write a book about what is best practices on being mayor. And then now he gets to be hired as like this political strategist. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And look at this gleaming studio that they have for him to talk his shit. You know, it's just ridiculous. I can't believe you could, yeah, but I hear you, Paul. It's a joke. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to make money, right? So none of this makes sense. None of it. So how come the ones in the back have on masks? If you just notice that shot, the ones in the back on computers, probably dicing through statistics, they all have on masks with all of these done. So like ABC could spend the money to get them tested, but not those in the back. Like, it's just bizarre. It's just, none of it makes sense. None of it. Zero of it. None. Yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon, only because like I'm sleepy and I do want to either one go on. I should go on the roof tonight, even for a minute. It's like it's so good. It's so good. Like it just the air, and then like you're just looking at the entire like panoramic of like everything, and it's just like yes. Every time I go up there, I'm just like okay, and I need to go up there like way more often. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm super sleepy because like. I wasn't sleeping as much as I mean, I did sleep. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. I'm rambling. Thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues, trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. I'm your host, Kanini Holder, live from my building's lounge, 84-inch screen TV, balling. And yeah, so as you can see, it's a shit show, and it is not a landslide.
At the end of the day, I think if the president wins Pennsylvania, he's going to be reelected. And if he doesn't, he won't.
Well, I'm going to go along with Ram on this one because look at every single state and look at the polls.
They're already crunching these numbers.
The polls. They've basically been in alignment, give or take.
Oh, Paul, I love it. I love it.
We will soon find out.
Yeah.
A divergence from
We need it. I'm just like
divergence from this.
my little spirit. I was just like,
And once Arizona diverges,
make it happen.
It's almost impossible for them to come back from the.
It is all exhausting. Stay positive. Yep. Keep dreaming and fighting for the world you want to see. Yeah, it's all an affirmation. Yep.
If
It
you look
is.
at all
It
the
is.
numbers, all
I
of
think
those
so.
numbers that are in are almost all election day numbers. It's almost no absentee, which the Democrats were supposed to overperform in.
Boom.
And I still think North Carolina, there's a lot left to count, and there's a lot of mail left to count in North Carolina. So that race I don't think is over yet. But the first state that we see that switches is likely to be from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. And that's the most significant thing we're waiting on.
Heidi Heitkamp?
I totally agree with Ram and with Matt, but I think that the story that we haven't talked about tonight, which is the popular vote. How much is Biden going to win the popular vote and still see this enormous challenge in the Electoral College? And
This is
that's
the
what
lie.
I
Like, why even pay attention to the popular vote? It's all about the Electoral College. So why even mention it?
In the popular vote, I think that there's going to be a lot of challenges in this country holding the country together.
7 out of 8.
So 88% in
That's in the popular vote.
for what's the exact?
I
Sorry
think there
about
are
the
dangers out there for Joe
closed
Biden
captioning.
in Pennsylvania. I'm looking in Ohio.
Although last time I pressed the
Pick
button.
up 2 counties that border Pennsylvania and Ohio, Trumbull
Closed
and
captioning.
Mahoning. In both these counties,
Okay,
Donald
well.
Trump is
Oh,
seriously
I did it.
outperforming
Yay.
what he did.
Accessibility shortcuts, 8 items, one slide, off.
Ohio's one state, but right on the other side, key counties in Pennsylvania.
You're going to be watching all day.
I don't know how to close it off either.
Be right back.
I don't know. Goodness. Let's see here. Exit. I figured it out. So, something else. So,
With Infinity now.
did it say that Joe Biden has 192? Why are they even? Why are they setting people up for this riot? Why are they attributing electoral votes and winning to different states? Like, I think it's way too early to do any of that. They should just say these are the results in thus far and not declare victory, not assign electoral votes, none of the above. So crazy. They're setting us up, y'all. They are setting us up. And they have fucking months. They do.
There's more than one kind of luxury, but there's only one way to live in it. Your way. Experience luxury on your terms with Infinity Now. Service, test drives, purchase and leasing that comes to you. Get 0% APR for
Nancy feels so good. So they had like, I'm gonna use my microphone. Oh, I actually have a microphone. Do it. It's all beat up now. I have to go replace it. But they knew, they know since March that this well, let's say June. They definitely knew by June that this COVID-19 was not going to go anywhere. So they've had months to prepare for how they were going to cover this election. They knew this, but no. They're still going to sit there and assign electoral. Oh, by the way, don't ever drink Nestle water. Nestle is the reason why there is lead in Flint. There's lead in the water in Flint, in Nestle, because Nestle was tapping the pumps of the reservoir so that we could all drink water in a bottle. And they diverted the clean water to Nestle and then the dirty water to the people of Flint. So I would go into so many different like social justice functions. They're like, yeah, this is revolution. Yeah, these things that we need. Yeah, black. Yeah. And then they drink Nestle water. I'm just like, oh, well, there you go. There you have it. All right, so let me see. We did the last time. I was trying to get, oh no, but it came back on. I told you to take off the closed captioning, honey.
In the Electoral College has won 15 states, 192 electoral votes, 18 states for Donald Trump, 118 electoral votes. Only bringing our political director Rick Klein right now. Because Rick,
I'm so confused.
We've been saying it, but now let's put some meat on the bones on this. But this is going to be a long night. We are not going to know who the next president is tonight. It might be well into tomorrow or beyond before we do. Tell me everything you know from the key states.
I'm trying to get it closed captioning.
Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Georgia, North Carolina, about where the vote is, how long it's going to take.
Yeah, Georgia, it's overwhelmingly likely that we're well into
Accessibility shortcuts, 8 items, 1 side, off.
Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania.
Video description off, caption on.
Standing vote. In Georgia, it's primarily the urban counties. We've had some counting issues there.
Off.
We know that at some point they're going to basically have to resume tomorrow. And in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, election officials have been telling us
I did it, and I think this election it'll drop off.
to have a complete vote count. In Wisconsin,
I saw one problem created another.
In Pennsylvania, though, it's going to be several days.
They do. Yeah, it's disgusting, Paul.
Assume that we're into an overtime scenario with several.
He's up by 1.8 million popular votes. Okay.
Big states for
Yeah.
are now very likely to head into.
There's 1.8 million people living in Harlem alone. Like, okay.
It takes more time, not always, but it generally takes more time to check, verify, count a mail ballot than it does one made at the ballot
All right,
box.
how do I get this
You have to go one by one, and it's one of the ironies
try
of this
this.
surge in early voting that it may actually force election officials to take a lot longer on the back end. They've been preparing for this for weeks. They've been warning about this possibility, and it is now a probability, or even more than that we're talking about having to wait a while to get this complete.
But we knew this.
We know that, at least on the Democratic side, there's
Ah!
of setting up an infrastructure to fight in the courts if necessary. But
So
for
Janelle,
now,
how's your
we're waiting
PhD
for
program
quite a
going?
while.
Let me know.
And keep in mind that in those 3 states, those upper Midwestern states, we're still looking at primarily day of.
So Arizona,
election day,
76%
which we
in.
know from all
Okay,
the
so it looks like Biden's gonna win Arizona.
indications that heavily favors Donald Trump.
Florida.
And again, you can't say this enough. I mean, we're also looking
94% and Trump is up in Florida.
It's always expected.
Georgia, Trump is up, 75% of the votes in.
Precisely. We knew that Joe Biden.
Iowa, Trump is in the lead with 80% in.
Going into election day, the question was, can Donald Trump overcome that? And he has overperformed his margins in a bunch of states, and he has just about hit the expectations. There's a range of states, George, where it's almost uncanny. Where talking to Democrats and Republicans both, they knew there were numbers that Donald Trump had to hit to be competitive, and he's there almost to a 10th of a percentage point.
Dan Abrams, thank you, Rick. Dan Abrams.
I don't know if it makes any of this.
You guys are getting more relevant by the minute. Just walk people through what to expect in the coming hours and days.
Well, look, I don't think anything in the coming hours apart from preparation, right? I think that what you're going to see in the next few hours is the legal teams gathering and sort of playing
To pick apart this
sort of
election.
all the
Yep.
various possibilities that could occur. What happens if there's a fight in Pennsylvania? What happens if there's a fight in Michigan? What are the laws in Wisconsin? What are the recount laws? I mean, that's the first place we got to be looking at right now, which is the automatic recounts. For example, in the state of Pennsylvania, if it's within half a point, there's an automatic recount that will take place in the state. Those are going to be the first round of sort of legal issues. Round two is going to be, okay, now there's been a recount. Let's get down to the very specifics of ballot by ballot. But we're not there yet. So there's no question the lawyers are on hold. The lawyers are preparing. The lawyers are learning the laws, particularly in those 3 states. I'm sure they already know them, but they're going to be brushing up on the laws in those 3 states as they prepare for what could be litigation, getting down to the point of ballot by ballot in some of these states.
That's the point I wanted to bring to Kate Shaw. Remember back in 2000, it was Justice Scalia on his own who actually stopped accounting in the state of Florida.
That's right, and obviously that's a nightmare scenario that it all comes down to one state, and there's the possibility of the Supreme Court intervening in a state process. Right? Remember, elections
And that's your girl, Amy Comey.
Right, that is the sort of design of our system. So it was, unusual doesn't even begin to capture it for the Supreme Court to essentially halt the state process.
I like her hair though.
And then ultimately, essentially, to hand the victory by stopping
Let me see what you have to say.
to George W. Bush. So I don't think
Awesome, but a lot, especially teaching at the same time. Okay, that you tell me how you're doing.
Kate Shaw,
How
thanks
you
very
doing?
much. We're going to take another break. Some station in the news now for late local news. For the rest of the country, our coverage continues.
So, I mean, if you think about it, according to what they're saying, Biden has a big lead in the Electoral College, right? So, but I don't know why a lot of people have been feeling very depressed all night and feeling like Biden might lose. Mute. I found it great. So you're doing awesome. That's great. Teaching at the same time as a history class, not creative writing. Oh, I would love to hear more about that. I used to teach history too, so I love how we talk about history, especially now. Like looking at the curriculum, looking at the version of history that's taught and why, and asking students questions like, why do you think this is in the textbook? Why do you think this matters? Matters to who? Why does it matter? Oh yeah, it's really fun. I'm so super struggling. Taking good classes, intro to doc studies, race, ooh, and comics and films. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. I do love your energy, Janelle. You're just like pop, 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 all the time. This is great, I love people like that. This is like, yeah. I'm speaking to somebody who works for Spectrum because they need to do something about my internet. And not in a bad way, it's not Spectrum's fault, it's my fault. But I could just tell, it's like, you're not just like the Spectrum person, you are just awesome. I could feel it on the phone, and this guy was just cool, And not on I'm flirting with him or he's flirting with me. I was just like, I could pick up his energy. This is a beautiful thing. I think it all exists, it's that people need to tune into it. So, says the girl who's here now. So anyway, I really love this. Thank you all for watching and tuning into Black Issues. Literally trying to make sense of an insane world, one issue at a time. I'm your host, Kanani Holder, live from my lounge. And I'm gonna call it a night, only because I'm sleepy. It's so much work, what I'm saying? And we're all juggling so much. So I really thank you for spending time here to process this together with me. It makes all the difference. I went live earlier today, quick though, just to say hey, I voted. And there's so much more energy that came, what I'm saying? Just so it's a beautiful thing to be able to connect with people. So thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. Me and Rebecca. I want to wish you all a good night. This is absolutely hilarious. I will literally walk around like this. This is so hot. It's This is so hot. Like, who would think to wear this little child toy made in China by 3-year-olds as like an actual accessory? Like, hot, honey. Hot. I'll do a whole photo shoot like this. Hot. So thank you all. Tune in and support Black Issues Issues on Cash App, Venmo, and GoFundMe. Also stay tuned for Rebecca for the Blacks. She's really doing all that she can. So just support her. She's on YouTube now as well. So thank you all. Thank you all for watching. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe. Tell 3 friends. Can you go to the lounge? Who is that? It's my lounge. It's mine. Silly. All right. Good night. Love and light to everyone. Me and Rebecca. Thank you all so much. You all made my night. Okay. Stay tuned. Stay hopeful. Do your morning routine. Meditate. Manifest. Okay. Bye.